And his opponent fighting out of the red corner enters the ring wearing black trunks with gold trim. He weighed in at 52 kgs even, or 114.55 pounds. Hailing from Mitcham, Victoria, Australia, residing in Kingscliff, New South Wales, Australia. He is a former Australian bantamweight champion, Oriental and Pacific Boxing Federation Silver Super Flyweight Champion, a Commonwealth Boxing Council Super Flyweight Champion, a WBO Global Super Flyweight Champion, and the WBA World Interim Super Flyweight Champion. He is trained by Angelo Hyder, representing Dragonfire Boxing. He has 29 professional fights with 26 wins, 3 losses, 16 big wins coming by way of knockout. Introducing Andrew Maloney! Fighters in the center ring, please follow your referee's instructions.
Yeah, beautiful jab going, mate.
Morning. Your WBC Interim Championship knockout qualified. All right, good luck.
One more time, Perth, Australia, make some noise!
The first of 3 world title bouts on the night. Christina Poncher, Nico Ali Walsh here with you. This is when we got the bout sheet, Nico, we were kind of looking at film and breaking down these fights. This was a fight they're like, okay, this should be a good one.
Yep, you got to be prepared to just go the distance with this kind of fight. These guys have the same style, really. They're both pressure boxers. They fight in high guards. It might come down to whose conditioning is better.
You see Guevara with the black trunks, white trim, red gloves. Maloney fighting also out of the orthodox stance with the gold gloves and black trunks. Maloney coming into this ring tonight off a tune-up victory, I would say, back in December against Jody Flores. He won a 10-round unanimous decision pretty clearly in that, which was much needed considering a year ago he was brutally knocked out in the 12th round by Junto Nakatani in his last quest for a world title. So a win tonight would be huge for him in terms of elevating his status, winning the interim belt, and then possibly fighting the super champion to become the super WBC junior bantamweight champ. But Guevara is a tough cookie, has a ton of experience. He's a very well-rounded fighter. What are the keys for Guevara tonight, Nico?
I would say the biggest thing for Guevara is he's a counterpuncher, so we might find him waiting a little too much for Maloney. Maloney uses his jab very well, so I would say the biggest thing for Guevara would be to use his angles and to stay patient. Don't wait for Maloney, but stick to your game plan.
And as you can see already in round 1, Maloney coming out, throwing a good amount of punches. Very rarely does he just throw a jab at a time. He usually doubles up on a jab. He likes to throw some good combinations. He's also a pretty decent counterpuncher too.
Yeah, he's a high output fighter, Maloney.
There's a nice right hand landed there by Maloney on Guevara, as Guevara also looks to shoot that right hook.
That was a good attempt on the left hook counter by Guevara.
There's Maloney back to the double jab. Down to the body with the right hand for Maloney, and Guevara looking to shoot the jab down low as well.
Maloney's a great body puncher. He starts off early to the body, and once he gets started, his opponents slow down at the latter end of the fight.
Yeah, he doesn't have crazy one-punch knockout ability, but he is the type of fighter, I mean, both of them are really, that break their opponents down.
Yeah, that's what I like about these two. You see that a lot in the film of both these guys. They do utilize the body. I would say Guevara's best body punch is his left hook to the body, whereas Maloney throws kind of different combinations to the body. But again, it slows down the opponent. After all, even if the punches to the body don't hurt, they add up.
Hey! Let's start changing the angles a bit more. Hey?
Taking that down there, yeah.
Andy, feign him at all times because he wants to counter. The jab nearly dropped in there and his face is marking up. Your timing is so good. But don't go in and out. If you come back out, that's where he wants you. Okay, so if we come in, let's roll under. Let's stay in and roll out to the end when we're more comfortable, okay? Box from the 6 behind the jab. Then we'll start doubling it. Body and head. Don't worry about coming back at him after he fires yet. You're winning it too easy outside. Pick your angles up and make him miss.
Very clear instructions there from trusted trainer Angelo Hyder, who has had a ton of experience, also trained former world champions and Vic Darchinyan, Danny Green, Chris John, and then, of course, Maloney's brother, Jason, as well, as we get ready for round 2. He liked him fighting off the jab, staying outside.
I believe they want Maloney fighting on the outside because his problem with Nakatani was on the inside. He was leaning over. He was getting caught with uppercuts, so maybe the inside is not the best place for Maloney to be. He's a great boxer. And he's able to use his distance very well.
Guevara with the left hand down to the body of Maloney there. And again, with the left, that time Maloney timed him with the right hand, and then a sneaky right uppercut from Guevara. And he's got some good boxing skills as well, does Guevara.
Definitely.
He's very well-rounded. He's not just a come forward, just loop shots. He's a very, I think, schooled, you know, almost technician in there, if you will.
Right.
He's not just a brawler.
No, you could tell that both of these guys think this is high-level boxing. You know, when you see brawlers, they just throw punches. These guys aren't throwing punches. The punches are definitely calculated. You can see that Guevara is trying to counter, though.
And I think Guevara is probably a little more comfortable than is Maloney fighting off the back foot, so that makes sense.
Yeah. And both of these guys have the similar rhythm where they bounce in and out. Maloney's trainer between rounds wanted him to stay out. They don't want him, you know, going in as much and staying inside.
Guevara missing there with the counter as Maloney maintains his high guard. You see that right hand up, holding the phone, if you will, as Guevara looks to dig down to the body with the lead left hand.
The body's a key to victory for both these guys early on. The first 3-4 rounds, investing to the body is a brilliant way. It could completely change the game of the fight later on.
You can just tell how much both of these guys are thinking, right? And there you can see them each like really trying to get down each other's timing, especially on those counters where some of them are just missing. But only here in round 2, you know, definitely a nice right hand there. And even though some of those Guevara counters are hitting the gloves and arms of Maloney, he's going to continue to tag and continue to work, hopefully getting him to bring those hands down.
Yeah, even those block shots can hurt. Those wear your guard down too.
You're boxing beautifully. The angles are good. The distance is good. The angles need to be a little bit better because he can only counter punch you in a straight line. Okay, so turn him when you're feinting him, turning a little bit first. When he's set for you, turn him first, feint him, and then start working your jab as you're turning him. Then the right hand and the hooks and the rips will follow from that, okay? If you're in front.
There was that counter right hand over the top of the left of Guevara there when he got him to open. We talked about both of them having, you know, some counter punching ability, which is why this is such a tactical, close fight so far. Them just getting each other's timing down. I mean, look, there's multiple times where they've thrown shots at the exact same time.
Yeah.
And that right hand was beautiful by Maloney.
Yeah, Guevara's getting hit with those right hands because his left hand is dropping when he's throwing that left hook to the body. That's one of his favorite shots. Guevara throws a left hook to the body or he leads with a straight right. But his left hand is dropping afterwards and he's getting hit with these right counters by Maloney.
Round 3 of the scheduled 12-rounder. the vacant WBC interim world title up for grabs. Guevara may be looking to go a little bit more to the body here.
Definitely.
And Maloney's corner telling him they want him to turn him more, work a little bit more on the angles.
Maloney's footwork is working great for him right now. It's just keeping Guevara at bay. It's making it hard for him to set. He's bouncing in and out, but when he bounces out, he's staying there.
And using those feints too, almost like a jab step in basketball, right? Where he's kind of like fading with that front foot, just taking a little step to throw off.
That's one of the
Guevara's
best feints. You know, not every feint is with the hand. Sometimes your feint is with your foot. It's with your head. It's, you know, you can feint with your body. His high guard is blocking a lot of these good shots.
It sure is. Sure is. Guevara's throwing a good amount of punches, but they're not having much effect, as that high guard, as you mentioned, of Maloney is able to deflect a lot of these shots, but Guevara's got to keep working.
Yeah. Now Maloney doesn't, you know, he doesn't move his head a lot for defense, but he blocks. So that's just as efficient. But you know, if he were to move his head and get off the line, like his corner was saying, use those angles, when an opponent misses a shot completely, it completely zaps their energy.
A minute left to go here in round 3. I would say so far the pace has favored Maloney.
Definitely, yeah.
Nice left hand to the body from Guevara, scores just under that elbow of Maloney, as actually comes back to the center. Maloney jab. Double jab, right hand scores for Guevara there on that combination.
He's going to be looking for that left hook to the body all night, Guevara.
They both meet each other there with the jab. It was a good combination there from Guevara. He was first on that jab and it scored. And Maloney answers back with a good flurry here to end round 3.
Yeah, you can tell his output is just, he's got a high output, Maloney. Those are tough fighters to combat.
Buen round, sigue así, mijo. Agresivo para ganar. Esa derecha te está dando resultado, pero rematado al
cuerpo. Take a look at some of the replays from the last round. Not a lot of those punches landing clean, Nico, in those exchanges when Guevara had his back up against the ropes. Not sure if that was the best.
He's smiling because he knows they didn't land.
Yeah. This way, as we take a look into the locker room of George Ferocious Kambosos, one half of our main event later tonight when he takes on Vasiliy Lomachenko. And great opportunity. There's the referee for the fight, probably going to go over some instructions there with Team Kambosos, as we get set here in the ring now for round number 4 of the scheduled 12-rounder.
Maloney's doing great right now. One of his keys to victory is just, you know, boxing, using that jab. He's doing it very well right now.
Right on cue there, and he's following exactly what his corner's telling him to do. They want him to keep work, keep turning, you throw punches, be on the move. It's exactly what he's doing.
It looks like he fixed some of the issues in his last loss with Nakatani. He was leaning in and lunging in with some of his shots. He's finding his distance. He's throwing and getting out. It looks like he's fixed that problem, Maloney.
That was a good adjustment, and you know, he's gonna, in a fight, that fight against Junto Nakatani was pretty brutal at the end. You know, he was in it until he wasn't, and you know, a warrior like him wants to go out on the shield, but there was some questions as far as like you know, after the trilogy with Franco, he picked up a couple wins leading up to that Nakatani fight, but that night was special for Junto, and I know that took so much out of Andrew that it was important for him to have a couple more camps, get back into the win column, and now he's right back in contention for getting another, you know, world title opportunities. He lands a good left hand there, but of course, you know, June 29th, the WBC has the fight between, you know, Gallo Estrada and Bam Rodriguez. That is a fight for the kingpin, if you will, the super champion at the WBC at 115 pounds. But a win in this fight could set you up for a matchup like that and to be right back in the mix.
Absolutely.
For a major world title.
This is a big night for Maloney. It's a big night for both of them.
Well, Guevara too. I mean, either way, I mean, a fight, that would be Mexico versus Mexico, whoever wins between Bam and Gallo, but either way, I mean, it's a hot division right now, lots of talent. And right there is a left hook to the body that lands for Guevara as Maloney looks to answer with the right of his own.
Maloney's finding those right hands tonight. He's countering them great. Again, it's coming from Guevara dropping that left hand.
Both lunging back and forth with single jabs, slowed down the pace just a little bit as that left once again lands to the body for Guevara. Oh, and a great shot back and forth action there, and then a body shot from Guevara to culminate it. Oh, down to the body with the left for Maloney.
Maloney landed some beautiful combos at the end there.
Shot in, his hands are going from there to here. Need to put more on.
There's the uppercut, left hook to the body. That was a beautiful combination there by Guevara once he started to let go of more than just the jab.
That's one of the shots that Maloney gets hit with frequently is an uppercut, but he's staying on the outside, so it's going to be hard to land. Those are beautiful shots right there, though.
That right hand landed by Maloney, and then he got tagged almost simultaneously by a left to the body, but that's what I'm saying. Like, once these guys actually get in there and mix it up, it's actually beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful to watch because
it's high-level boxing.
Yeah.
These guys definitely are meant to be here.
It's not moving without punching, it's moving with the jab.
That's kind of what I was saying. There was kind of a lull there in action, and he's like, I want you to move, but still keep your jab out there, still stay working. And there was about a 30-second lapse there where either fighter really wanted to let their hands go. And I understand that earlier in this fight, both guys were waiting to counter, but I think that, as you saw in the end of the last 30 seconds of that round, they both scored when they threw a combination.
Yeah. That's going to be a key to victory for Guevara. He's going to have to start letting his hands go a little bit more and start catching Maloney in the middle of his combos. Because Maloney keeps the high guard, but he's open when he's throwing. And that's what happened in the end of last round. They were both able to land because they threw while each other was punching. That's a beautiful jab by Maloney.
There's more of the come forward action from Guevara that we wanted to see, and he's got to be quick to get those hands back up and to avoid those counters though from Maloney.
It's that left hand. You can watch his left hand dropping when he's throwing his jab. He's looping it down a little bit.
Oh, nice right hand connects there from Guevara though. He timed Maloney going to his left and threw the right hand perfectly.
They're both, it's a battle of right hands right now.
Hey, not bad. Hey, bump.
Maloney's corner is asking him to feint.
Stop. You go to head, okay? But you no cut.
Open up
Okay.
cut there.
Okay.
No cut.
Okay, go to head.
I'm surprised that didn't happen more often for the style that these guys have. They both like to bounce in and out. Normally that creates, you know, the fighters end up getting accidental headbutts a lot.
I mean, that's something a lot of times, too, when you have an orthodox and a southpaw, like we'll have in our main event tonight, the southpaw Lomachenko and orthodox fighter Kambosos, we have to be wary of as well.
Stay long, ready to go. Stay long, work your jab now, work your jab and move. Jab and move.
Double jab for Guevara, but not really letting the right hand go.
Stay long and jab and move. Stay long and jab and move. Good work.
Guevara's really targeting the body still. It's great to see. We're going to see
Oh, nice. Left hand scores right there from Guevara. That was beautiful timing on that shot. Maloney felt that.
Just sit back. Sit back. Yeah, I will, but you've got to sit back. And you've got to hold one hand on that. You've got to hold that.
Good man, three.
You're wanting to throw more shots at the moment, but there's no need. Right, you got caught with one punch there. Wasn't much, but we don't need to get in with anything because you're too good. You've got a jab on.
That was a beautiful right counter from Guevara.
And he's got a left in there, too. When he caught Maloney squared up with his chin, almost served on a platter in that lapse of defense.
Yeah.
He caught him again with that same shot.
That's happening because Maloney's guard is leaving an opening under his guard. He's blocking the sides of his head, but he's susceptible to uppercuts, which happened, you know, in his previous fights.
As we get to round 6, Christina Poncher, Nico Ali Walsh here with you. Still to come in our co-main, Chernika Johnson taking on Nina Hughes for the WBA Bantamweight World title. And then our main event, George Ferozis, Kambosos, and Vasiliy Lomachenko for the vacant IBF Lightweight World title.
Stop, break, no punch. Stop. Stop, break.
Taking a look at some of the CompuBox numbers right now, Guevara has landed more power shots and thrown more power shots than has Maloney, but Maloney has out-jabbed Guevara, but a lot of the times judges will be looking at power punches thrown and connected, and right now Guevara is landing at about 32% of his power punches. They're about even, though, in terms of the percentage landing of total punches, about 25% for both fighters.
That's the tough thing about judging is you can land the jabs all night, but if you're not working off them and leading into other combos through the jab, then the judges could have the other fighter winning. That was a beautiful combo for Maloney.
Timed that perfectly, and back comes Guevara with a couple body shots. You know, Maloney is susceptible at times to those quick counters, and that's why Angelo Hyder keeps telling him, you know, you're going to throw, but then get back to the outside. Don't stand in there on the inside. Don't admire your work. Don't give him the opportunity in that close distance to try to counter, especially with one of those shots to the body.
That in and out style, that rhythm is great to watch, but it's tough to keep up. This just kind of shows the condition that Maloney's in. Being able to do this for 12 rounds is not easy. Just that in and out style is a beautiful style. They wanted to stay on the outside, though.
Right hand that Guevara kind of rolls with there from Maloney, but Maloney not landing too many effective punches here in this round 6, as Guevara invested to the body pretty good this round. Of course, he finishes it strong here after I say that, right, Nico?
Exactly. It always happens that way.
It always happens that way.
Just by listening, sit back. The way you picked it up there is good. Start picking that jab up a little bit more, and then we'll start adding some right hands, okay? Feint, turn, create the angle, and that right hand will go right onto the chest here. Then we'll start opening this up a bit more. In the middle, Andy, when you can, more monsters. We'll give you the reminders here.
There's some of the body work I was talking about by Guevara, and then just barely got his head out of the way of that counter right hand from Maloney.
Guevara's warming up right now.
Fucking busting him with that jab.
It's a better round. Look at the coveted green belt. The WBC interim super bantamweight world title up for grabs.
It's interesting to see Guevara in his previous fights. He kind of has the same style as Maloney in terms of rhythm, bouncing in and out, but it looks like he's sitting more on his shots. When he's thrown to the body, he's sitting down. He's not really moving much.
And Guevara's dug, though, to the body so much more than has Maloney in this fight, and usually Maloney likes to go to the body.
You can tell, though, you can hear the thuds of the punches when Guevara is thrown to the body.
Stop, break.
It's hard as a fighter when you're bouncing and moving to land powerful shots because you're bouncing. You know, your power is from sitting. That was another accidental headbutt.
But I don't think as Guevara, you have the opportunity to say, oh, headbutt, I'm going to step back. You come in here and, like, control, give me a break if I want to. Like, the referee kind of needs to step in and be the one to take control there. I mean, you got to protect yourself at all times. If I'm Maloney, I'm charging at you.
He's got a cut now on the bridge of his nose, Guevara. I don't know if that's from the headbutt or from the combo that just landed by Maloney.
Oh, right hand gets in as well, and then left down to the body from Guevara. And they're staying in the pocket, and getting a body shot on the return is not where Hyder wants Maloney to be. As a brief warning for low blow from the referee. Just about a minute left here in round 7.
Yeah, it looks like Maloney's going a little too much on the inside more this round. I'd say the inside favors Guevara. He's able to sit down more on his punches, his body shots, when they're on the inside.
Good clean punches there from Guevara. And those are the kind of punches that the judges see very clearly. He's given himself some good space on these shots, and very interested to know how the judges have these round scores, because a lot of them have been back and forth. There's been bright moments for both fighters.
Definitely. Yeah, it's back and forth right now. Both fighters have found their rhythm.
Maloney has done well closing some of these rounds, though. So if they've been close, sometimes what judges will look, if there's, one way or another, if you can finish the round strong, that can help potentially swing around in your favor. At least, that's what I've been told.
Yeah, the last 30 seconds of a round,
we don't want him firing back.
the first minute and the last 30 is what a lot of people say are in the judge's mind. Especially the last 30, you can steal a round. If a round is close and you take away the last, maybe even the last 10, 15 seconds, you can completely steal the round.
And there's that head coming up that, caused that reaction from Guevara where he, grimaces at his nose. You don't see the blood there immediately, but you did see a cut slightly opened up in that last round, and there's a short little shot with the right hand connected from Maloney. But I feel some of these rounds have been difficult to score.
Yeah.
But Guevara, definitely one clear advantage that he has been putting in work on Maloney's body. He has thrown a ton more punches downstairs.
We're going to find out, you know, very soon in these next few rounds how it affects Maloney. Because no matter your condition, body shots will slow a fighter down.
And he just tagged him with 2 left hands there to the body again. Anytime they come in close, almost every combination he has some sort of hook or shot downstairs to the body.
Yep. That's his counter shot. You know, he's trying to counter Maloney. When Maloney throws his jab and keeps his right elbow up, he's trying to counter him with a left hook to the body.
Hey, Rick, no punch.
Doubling up on the jab is Guevara, but Maloney, a lot of that movement around the outside, as Coach Heider was telling him, okay, I'm okay with your movement, but at least give me a jab. Give me a couple of jabs while you're circling around the outside. I don't want to see the movement without any punches.
And, you know, Guevara is trying to counter a single jab of Maloney with a left hook, whether it be to the body or the head. Maloney started off throwing multiple jabs. It's kind of slowed down. Now he's throwing one jab at a time.
And almost if Maloney could time Guevara when he throws his left hook, he almost leans his head, he leans his body to the right side. If Maloney could counter with the left hook, you know what I mean? It seems like that shot would be there, especially because when he throws his left hook, sometimes Guevara drops that right hand.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to agree with me, but that's just what I see.
No,
do you agree?
I completely agree. No, I completely agree. You know, Guevara is moving to the right. That's leaving an opening for a left hook, but it's looking like, you know, when a fighter throws one jab instead of multiple, which he was doing, that comes from getting hit. It seems like, not that he's afraid of getting countered, but he's very weary of it. It looks like Maloney.
Maloney looking to pepper him there with some short shots. Again, the last 20 seconds here of the round, most of these rounds have belonged to Maloney at the end. He's kind of owned the last 30 seconds, if you will, and Guevara trying to change that now. It lands a body shot there.
You're not giving us enough chance to set it up. Now, they don't all have to be hard. You just tap, tap, tap. Now, he's slowing down. His counters are slowing down, okay? So we need to create that jab, 1, 2, and then we can start ripping a little bit too. But we've got to be on the angle before we do this.
Keep it nice and short when you're in there, and you can tie him
good,
up
mate?
and control it. You're doing good.
Hey, you feeling good? Come on,
One
mate.
of the first things Maloney's trainer said to him is that he's not throwing enough jabs.
But I want
He
you
wants
on
him
that
to work
jab,
off the
constantly
multiple
looking
jabs.
through,
He
looking for
started off
turning,
doing that. He kind of got away from it.
Looking for the zinger.
I believe that's because he started getting countered from Guevara.
I mean, maybe I know a little bit about what I'm talking about, right?
No,
I was
you
saying
know,
when you're moving around the outside, they want to
absolutely.
see him throwing jabs.
Absolutely.
And it's kind of more the same. And, you know, I feel like he started the fight like that, like you just said. He started the fight very well the first couple of rounds, and then he's kind of let Guevara pick up some momentum in the middle rounds. And now let's see how, you know, these last 9, 10, last 4 rounds here, should we get to 12 finish? Because at this point, I feel like Guevara's gotten a little bit more of a rhythm.
Definitely. And, you know, Maloney, when you jab, it leaves you open. So he's limited his jab to just one because he was getting countered. But, you know, if he keeps snapping that jab and throwing it maybe as fast as he was before, they will land.
Oh, and that was a good quick jab from Guevara there that landed. And he's starting to tag Maloney down to the body once again. And if Maloney's going to stand there on the inside,
Yeah.
whereas
This is what his trainer told him not to do. You know, don't go on the inside. Not with Guevara. That's where Guevara wants him.
but maybe that's a tad bit of some fatigue setting in from some of that body work that Guevara's been investing in.
I promise you, it's the body. I promise.
I trust you. You know.
It's the body will slow anyone down. You can have an 8-pack and the body will slow you down.
If not for anything else, Guevara has been able to be consistent, especially with the left hooks to the right side of Maloney's body.
Maloney's staying outside. He's listening to his trainer right now. After his combo, he's going back to the outside, which is good.
There's a body shot with the left hand from Maloney that scores. And right back comes Guevara, ripping that same left hook to the body.
Maloney's still finding those angles. He's listening to his trainer. The only issue is that he's throwing while moving, while finding those angles. That takes away a bit of power off the punch. Guevara's planted every time he throws to the body.
Oh, and there is again. I mean, the left hand has been a money punch for Guevara down to the body. And let's take a look inside the Lomachenko locker room as he's getting his hands wrapped in anticipation of our main event for the vacant IBF lightweight world title against George Kambosos Jr. That's coming up later. Russ Amber on the hand wraps per usual.
So you let him get off.
Rival gloves. That team rival that is Russ Amber.
You've got to hit the zingers. You've got to hit the body.
Isn't he? He's just an amazing human too.
He is, and he has amazing magic tricks. I love the
Yeah,
guy.
he does. He does.
Short right hands down the middle.
As a Team Ferocious, you see there looking on, watching the hand wraps as Vasiliy Lomachenko makes his quest in just what sounds crazy, but his 21st, that's it, 21st
Yeah,
professional
that is
fight.
crazy. That is crazy.
Isn't it? Well, when you fight for a world title in your second professional fight, and then
He's an anomaly.
yeah, he is. And you've had over 400 amateur fights, but I feel like, you know, at this age, it's crazy to look down at his record and realize this is only going to be fight number 21
Right.
as a pro. Back to our action in the ring now, round 10 of the scheduled 12 rounder. Of course, as I mentioned, the vacant WBC interim world title up for grabs, and these last 3 rounds could be crucial.
Hey. Okay, Bob.
Maybe a little too much Vaseline there on the forehead of Guevara. That's one of the unfortunate things, Nico, about calling a fight from a studio, right? You can only see what the camera angles show you. We don't get to look, or we're not there. We don't get to see what we want to see, so you have to bear with us at times. You're seeing the same angles that we're seeing, and the same thing, so. Again, back to the body, and then looking to finish with the right hand there, and that combination from Guevara.
It gets tiring if you're Maloney. Every shot he throws, Guevara's countering. You start to stop throwing shots if you're a fighter that, you know, gets countered after every single shot, even if the counters aren't landing. On your guard, it still wears on you.
And I mean, Guevara's, I think, coming on towards the second half of this fight, and Maloney's stepped back quite a bit from the sharpness that we saw early on with the punches.
He has, and again, it's those body shots.
And and you can see some urgency from Coach Hyder there in the 2 box, telling him, come on, jab up, you got to jab. Wants him to throw some more punches because you gotta continue to keep working, gotta stay rhythm, gotta stay momentum. I know he kind of hops up and down with the body, but if he's not throwing the punches,
right?
I mean, it's professional fighting. You gotta fight.
Yeah, that was one of Maloney's absolute keys to victory is utilize the jab. He was at the beginning part of the fight, at the beginning half of the fight, I should say. He's gotten a bit away from it now. This may be a close fight to call.
And in what we've seen, especially in recent fights, if you're going to take a judge looking to score fights over who's landing more jabs versus who's landing the body shots, the judges are going to err towards the side of the fighter throwing the body shots, the more aggressive, cleaner shots, and those have been, particularly in the latter half of this fight, at the hands of Guevara.
My distance is pretty good there.
But you're waiting. Right, you sit there. We need to be just moving to your left, pop. Moving to your left, pop. Moving to your left. 1, 2. Don't go looking for him with the right hand. You've got to throw it because when you're jabbing, he's coming back. So the gate's open. You understand?
I mean, that left hand, Nico, has just been an absolute weapon for Guevara tonight.
Yeah. That's where his power comes from. He was able to he threw a 3-shot uppercut at the beginning of this replay. The second one landed. The second uppercut. That's why you got to throw more than one punch. You got to throw these 2 or 3 punch combos because you don't expect the first 2 shots to land, but all it takes is one.
Yeah, this is a tough one as we get into the championship rounds. I mean, somebody's got to step on the gas and take it up to another level now. Wouldn't you think? Both of these guys have had world championship experience, been in multiple world title fights. You got to go in there and you got to take this belt. Not from either guy because obviously it's vacant, but clearly try to pull away here and show that sense of urgency that you're deserving of walking out of there with that belt.
Yeah, you know, you don't know if you're Guevara, you know, he's done a lot better in the latter half of the round or of the fight. But you don't know. You're in Maloney's home turf.
Yeah, excellent point.
You know, so you've got to really prove to the judges you can't just win. It's got to be a definitive win.
He's stalking a little bit more. His body language now with Guevara looks like he's hunting a bit more now.
Hey, no punch.
Maloney's trainer wants him to avoid his left hand. That's why he wants Maloney to continue going to his left. You can hear it in the corner.
Down to the body with the right. And Maloney had gotten a good counter shot in there from the corner. I'm not sure what this camera angle is here. We have no control over that, folks, but hopefully it doesn't make you dizzy like it could make me if we continue. Yeah, not a lot of clean punches here in round 11, Nico.
Yeah, and we'll see in the last 30 seconds if Maloney does what he's been doing and try to steal the round.
Yeah, and a round that could be up for grabs. No definitive moments for either fighter here in round 11. You got to work.
Yeah, they're waiting. It's too long of a waiting period for both of them. I would say they both have to act with a bit of urgency right now because either of them could be up on the scorecard.
Well, the way this fight started, I didn't think that we'd be sitting here asking for these guys to throw punches. There was a left to the body and then right from Guevara. But I mean, we were saying that beautiful work, back and forth, good counter punching. I mean, it's significantly slowed down the pace here in the penultimate round as we're 10 seconds away from the final round in a fight that could really be, you know, up for grabs.
Yeah, definitely. They were both going to the body. That's why we see the fighters slow down just a touch.
Let's listen in.
This is the last round. This is for the title, man.
Take some good deep breaths. He's desperate. We got him in the bag. We don't need to mix it up.
Hay que los jueces vean la ambición que tienen para ganar, cabrón. Que quieres ganar. No le dejes que se mire, cabrón. No, güey, no. Por eso,
Sal por él.
Ya.
¿Vas a salir por él o no?
Sí, güey.
Vamos con todo, pues. A tirarlo todo. Jab 1, 2. Jab 1, 2. Okay? He'll come open to you. The gate will be open.
Tidy your hands. As soon as you're from, tidy your hands back and move. Move on angle. Let's go get it. Okay, get this tight.
No risk. No risk.
Jab 1, 2. He'll be right there for the taking. You know, let's go get these titles. But then they say no risk, no risk.
No risk.
I don't know. Let's see.
This round could mean the fight for either of them.
Very well could. 3 minutes left. The crowd getting into it now. The first of 3 world title fights on the night. And this vacant belt definitely up for grabs. What could be a very close fight on the scorecards, although we have no indication of how, you know, these judges are going to have this fight scored there in Australia. But if you're Guevara, you better try to, like you said,
He's got
put the gas pedal down.
Yeah,
yep.
definitely. Anytime you're going into enemy territory.
And he goes right back to the body, and there's a vicious combination there.
Beautiful combo from Guevara.
Oh, a nice catch and shoot there as well from Guevara, who is having a good start here at around 12.
Yeah, see, he's catching, and he's not just answering with 1 or 2 shots. He's answering with a combination. 3, 4 punches, Guevara.
And you hear Maloney's corner saying, we got to win this round. You got to pick it up. Down to the body goes Maloney, finishing up top with the right hand. Then back to the jab. And that was a good combination there for Maloney. Nice combination. He scored on those shots as well on the inside. Maybe trying to even the round a bit here. And then down to the body, of course, with that left hook. You knew the 12th wasn't going to go by without a left hook from Guevara there. And almost bank on it. It's been money for him all night.
That's
down
a beautiful
again.
Shot.
Go ahead, Nico. Absolutely.
No, that's a beautiful shot from Guevara. That's been working for him all night. It's not going to change in the 12th round.
Nor should it. It's been his best weapon. Did a good job slipping under that shot, coming right back, countering with the jab.
This round is going to make it even harder to judge this fight, score this fight. Rather.
Under a minute left to go here in Australia. The first of our 3 world title fights, and these guys finally decide to let their hands go after taking a round off there in round 11. Much needed boost in punch output to see who walks away with the vacant WBC interim junior bantamweight world title. Neither fighter really hurt, neither fighter down. Back and forth action we go, under 20 seconds left now. Back to the body goes Guevara. Maloney looking to score up top. Ooh, body shot from Guevara. Back to the well he goes. Snaps his glove together. He knows he's been in a real fight here tonight, and this one's gonna go to the scorecards.
That was a tough fight. That was a firefight.
You can tell by the body language of Maloney, he felt like he's done enough to get the decision in Western Australia tonight, but the judges will tally this one up in what was pretty close. I mean, I think Maloney got off to a good start. I think Guevara had some success in the middle rounds, and then those last two were kind of up for grabs there.
It'll come down to, most likely, which punches landed more effectively. We know that Maloney was landing the jabs, the cleaner jabs, but sometimes jabs aren't enough to win you a fight.
Well, yeah, he definitely landed more jabs, but I mean, the body discrepancy and amount of punches that landed were heavily in Guevara's favor, you know, as well. So
yeah, a tough fight to score.
And we caught that shot and then continued to come forward. That combination went downstairs and then caught him upstairs because of how much work he's done to the body.
It was interesting to see Guevara was more of a counter puncher for this fight.
Definitely. We'll take a look back at some of the action while the judges tally up these scorecards. But again, you can see on a lot of these highlights a lot of good body work invested. That's beautiful work going to the body like that. And Guevara stayed consistent with it, did it throughout the entire fight. 12 rounds going to the body. Oh my God, the kids in the ring, I love it. It gets me every time. You know, some places they don't allow you to do that, like Las Vegas being one of them, but you just saw Andrew Maloney's son sitting there in the corner with the headphones on. Reminds me of my son when I first had him. He would be sitting there ringside behind me as I'm calling fights with the headphones on. It's like these kids that have grown up around their parents, a part of the sport. It's second nature to them. And an ovation for Guevara as well, as we are awaiting the decision from our ring announcer tonight. And much respect from both of these guys, and the Maloney brothers themselves and their whole team is such class acts.
They really
win
are.
or lose, they are champion human beings, that's for sure. Had the pleasure of covering their career for quite some time now. As we get ready for Lieutenant Don Hennessy, who is looking very dapper in that red jacket tonight, to make our official decision. Well, not make, but announce. You know what I mean? He doesn't get to make the official decision, but he gets to announce.
We are going to find out here.
Ladies and gentlemen, could we please have a round of applause for these two world-class fighters? After 12 rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. Judge 1 scores the competition 115-113, blue corner, Guevara. Judge 2 scores the competition 116-113, red corner, Maloney. And Judge 3 scores the competition 113-115 for your winner by split decision and WBC Interim World Junior Bantamweight Champion, fighting out of the blue corner!
Guevara gets the decision. He wins tonight by split decision down under. We didn't know if he could pull out a close decision down there. You just weren't sure. A lot of close rounds here, but he won 115-113 on two scorecards. Maloney 116-113 on the other. And Guevara is now the interim WBC world title, and Team Maloney's shocked right now.
Yeah, we knew it would be a controversial decision, you know, no matter what, because of how close the fight was.
And that's not something you see very often. So, you know, people will say, oh, if you want a split decision on enemy territory, you likely had a wider decision. But you could just look at Team Maloney's face. They are absolutely stunned.
Yeah, I would just say the second half of the fight is where Guevara took over.
Pedro Guevara,
it was those body shots.
Enjoying the spoils of victory, but we've heard from you all week, and we know how important this is. Just tell us how it feels to have that belt.
Thank you so much, Australia. I'm so thankful with you. You are a good people in a good town. I really want to come back to here for visiting you. Thank you so much.
would you come back here to fight Andrew Maloney again? Because I think there's plenty of people here who feel perhaps he won this fight, but you've got the belt. Will you do it again with him?
All right, no problem. Man, you deserve a rematch. If you want it. I win this fight. We make all, and I want to dedicate this to my family and my grandma, who is in heaven right now.
Congratulations to Pedro Guevara. Andrew Maloney, could we get your thoughts, Andrew, after 12 rounds where I know a lot of people, including your corner, felt that you had done more than enough?
Absolutely. I felt in total control. I did what I had to do in there tonight just to get through the round to win. I don't want to make excuses, but I went into this fight with a torn bicep, so I couldn't throw the left hook unless I needed to. But I didn't feel like I needed to throw it because I was in total control. And look, I just want to say thank you to Top Rank, thank you to my team for everything you've done for me. But I'm done with this sport. That's the last you'll say to me. I want to thank my sponsors for backing me over the years because I'm retired, I'm out. I love you all, but sorry, fuck that.
Ooh.
Well, tell us how you really feel, Mr. Maloney. I mean, obviously upset. He did show his bicep, which there was an apparent injury there, but he could not believe that he walked away tonight with a split decision loss. But you know what? He's fought some close fights with Franco, you know, fights that one of those he felt like, you know, he could have got the decision. Clear loss against Nakatani, and this one was a close fight. I don't see an issue if you want to run it back, or they do have a rematch, but at this point, I mean, he says he's done, he's retired. You think, I mean,
no, when
the
a boxer says they're retired, that means that they are taking a break. I don't think the sport's seen the last of them yet.
Well, I mean, I just felt, and I also felt like, you know, he said, I never even threw my left hand, I never threw my left hook because I didn't feel like I needed to. I was in control of the fight, but I don't know how, I mean, you're a fighter. Do you ever really get that sense where you feel like so comfortable that you don't even, you know, empty your arsenal when there's a vacant world title on the line?
Yeah, you know, it's tough because I've, of course, never fought a 12-round fight. We saw Maloney was using his left hand. He was using that jab. That was one of his keys to victory. You know, I studied his film. That is what would have won him the fight. Just continue to use the jab, but he got away from throwing 2 or 3 jabs at a time and started throwing one. Maybe that's what he was talking about. You know, he mentioned the left hook, but the jabs was what was getting him winning the first half of the fight, I would say.
Well, I think it's just a devastating week for the Maloney family. I mean, brother Jason loses his world title in Japan, and then now brother Andrew tonight on the losing end of a split decision. And I can't say that I really disagree with the decision. I'm not up in arms about it. It was a very close fight. I could have seen a draw. Maybe I could have seen it gone, you know, 115, 113, maybe Maloney's way. I wouldn't have had an issue with that either. But I mean, it was not a clear-cut victory for either fighter, I feel. But you know,
you know, he says he's retired. I don't believe he is. I would love to see the rematch, and I'm sure everyone else would like to see it as well.
All right, well, we'll see what happens. And, you know, if that is it for Andrew Maloney, you know, he has made his mark in the sport, and I give, you know, my kudos to him and his entire team for what they've brought, you know, to boxing and just being world champion human beings. But I do have a feeling like we will see him back again. Speaking of back again, one of the best fighters in the sport, Emmanuel Navarrete, will be back in action Saturday, May 18th at the Pachanga Arena in San Diego as he fights for the vacant WBO lightweight world title against mandatory the other mandatory, Dennis Baranchik, both of them number 1 and number 2 contenders for that belt. And then Xander Sayas in his very first main event, Puerto Rican weekend, against Patrick Teixeira, a huge step up in competition. That one a 10-rounder at the theater. Good for Xander Sayas getting an opportunity. You know, kind of saw this when he's turned pro with Top Rank, that eventually he could be made into the next star for Puerto Rico, and getting to fight in that main event. Really, really looking forward to that. And of course, I'm looking forward to our main event tonight. George Kambosos Jr. taking on Vasiliy Lomachenko. Here's a little bit more on Vasiliy Lomachenko, his journey to this point, and what this fight means to him.
When you got a guy like Vasiliy Lomachenko, a future Hall of Famer, a legend of this sport, my mindset is I'm facing the best Lomachenko there has ever been. I don't look at what Lomachenko might turn up, what Lomachenko problems he's had, the losses he's had, because I know he's got a lot to prove.
In a sport where champions protect their records more carefully than their dignities, and mere fighters fight less than they preen, Vasiliy Lomachenko stood apart, with the biggest ego of all, caring less about views than victory, less about likes than belts. And while not making weight now passes for strategic brilliance, here was a featherweight seeking history as a lightweight. He didn't cherry-pick titles, but insisted on collecting them all. An ego so great, he wasn't afraid to fail. And so he did.
Lomachenko has lost.
После поражения над Теофимом Лопесом, тогда оказалось, что я проиграл, но на самом деле в тот момент я выиграл. В тот момент я и узнал Бога. Это, в принципе, и поменяло всю мою жизнь.
He wasn't done losing either.
I wouldn't like finish on that note.
Now at 36, his body isn't what it was.
I remember a time nobody wants to fight with me. Then I was younger, then I was faster, then I was stronger.
And the famous ego is diminished as well.
Now my goal it's not be a champion. My goal is to be better human being. Be undisputed world champion in life.
Nevertheless, here we are. Just enjoy it while you still can.
I'm very happy right now because now I start to understand a lot of things what I don't understand before my losing. And if we're talking about lose, I'm not a lose. I win when I lose.
There's no guarantees in boxing, never. But you can give yourself as much guarantee with the way you prepare, how hard you train, and how much you put into this sport. The rest is on the night. When it comes down to it inside that ring, I'll do whatever it takes to beat this guy, hurt this guy, put this guy away. Whatever has happened in the past, you can't sit there and just live off them achievements. You need to look forward to the future. Legacy is what matters to me. My only focus, my only goal is May 12th, beating Lomachenko. It gives me back to number one, lightweight in the world. Back to Kambosos is a warrior. It gets me back to the big fights.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my great pleasure to welcome you all to the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden, New York City. We start the action with this bout, set for 10 rounds in the lightweight division.
When you try to compare boxing to other sports, fighting one-on-one with another man, this is gladiator stuff. You're the one with that other man, fighting him, trying to beat him, trying to destroy him physically, mentally. It's all on you.
The most obvious thing is that you walk into that ring and you're alone. Yeah, you have your team in your corner, but you're alone and someone's trying to take your head off. We're not playing a friendly game of basketball. Someone's really trying to hurt you.
It's all in your hands. You have control of the situation in boxing. And other sports, sometimes you don't have control of the situation.
Other combat sports, they can kick, they can wrestle, they can use their two hands, they can elbow. But with boxing, all we just have is two hands.
We have to understand it's an individual sport. And because it's an individual sport, we get blamed for everything. If you lose, it's all on you. You can't blame your coach, you can't blame your manager, you can't blame your mother, your father, it's all on you.
George Kambosos Jr.
When it comes to that key found moment, you can have everything and lose it in that one night. Same thing implied, and it happened to me.
Kambosos versus Lopez, a true fight, a true war, a battle, blood, sweat, and tears. I caught him in round one, and then I broke him down round by round. That was the game plan, no plan B, bust him up. Now come round 9 and 10, I lost my composure a little bit, and I got caught. But Kambosos got back up, grabbed his shield, grabbed his sword, grabbed his big heart, and went straight back into the fire. Did his cross, and knew that the rest was going to be history and legacy. And I went out there and destroyed him for the next 2 rounds. And I absolutely battered him to win all them belts.
And just in one night, just like Lomachenko had that experience, so did I. I lost everything that I worked hard for, and Kambosos' hand was raised as the new champion and king of the lightweight division.
When you become undisputed and you have all the belts,
Johnson, she definitely has the upper hand there, but Nina Hughes, of course, comes in as the champion.
For the red corner, ladies and gentlemen, she is the reigning and defending WBA Women's Bantamweight Champion of the World, Nina Hughes!
And
Once again,
championship
ladies and
fights,
gentlemen,
only
this
10
bout
rounds,
is scheduled
not
for 10
12.
2-minute rounds of professional female world championship bantamweight boxing action. It is for the WBA Women's Bantamweight Championship of the World. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. She enters the ring wearing white trunks with gold trim, weighing in at 53 kilograms even, or 116.75 pounds. Hailing from Tauranga, New Zealand, residing in Melbourne, Victoria, Australia, she is a WIBA World Bantamweight Champion, an IBF Female World Super Bantamweight Champion. She is trained by Craig Wilson, representing 1111 Gym. She has 17 professional fights with 15 wins, 2 losses, 6 big wins coming by way of knockout. This is the challenger. This is Chernika Sugarneeks Johnson! And her opponent fighting out of the red corner enters the ring wearing black trunks with white and gold trim, weighing in at 53.3 kilograms or 117.55 pounds. Hailing from Grays, Essex in the UK, residing in Billicarray, Essex in the UK, she is a Commonwealth Boxing Council female super bantamweight champion. She is trained by Kevin Ali, representing Newlands Gym. She has 6 professional fights with 6 wins, 2 big wins coming by way of knockout. Introducing the reigning and defending WBA Women's Bantamweight Champion of the World, Nina Hughes! Fighters to the center ring, please, for Bill Seth's instructions.
Fighters. Okay, ladies, 10 by 2 minute rounds. Obey my instructions at all times. I want to see a clean break when I say break. Touch them up if you want to. Come out boxing.
All right, here we go. 10 2-minute rounds. The bantamweight WBA World Champion, Nina Hughes, looking to make her second world title defense here against Chernika Johnson. Christina Poncher, Nico Ali Walsh here with you. And quickly, Nico, what does each fighter need to do to walk away with the victory tonight?
Hughes' key to victory would be to take away Neek's jab, or Johnson's jab rather, from the very start of the fight. So take away her jab, maintain a high work rate, and just bully her on the inside if she gets there. Now, Johnson, to win the fight, she's going to have to control the center of the ring. She's going to have to use that jab, utilize it throughout the whole fight, and she's going to have to let her let her hands go too.
Yeah, and they've gotten to work here pretty quick, as you see.
Immediately.
Yeah, Johnson looking to kind of establish that jab, but Hughes just throwing a ton of combinations, starting to tag the body, and now going back up top on Johnson.
Hughes is just relentless. She's one of those, she's just relentless
Absolutely.
with her pressure. Her output is very high.
And she likes to fight from that mid to outside. She just ate a jab right there from Johnson, who would prefer to have more of a long-range fight. She'd prefer to keep her at the end of her jab. I mean, Hughes is just going to get in there and scrap. She's going to throw a ton of punches. She's going to try to push the pace. And so far, it's going like that. Oh, nice jab once again from Johnson. Oh, beautiful punches there, scoring to the head of Hughes. She looks a lot bigger.
Yeah, I mean,
You know?
that's one of the downsides to someone who throws as many punches as Hughes does, is that it leaves you open. It kind of looks like, you know, it looks like there's a mark on Hughes' forehead already.
Should we talk about marks on foreheads? Because what Nika Johnson suffered in that last fight was a huge gash on the middle of her forehead at the, I guess at the cause of a headbutt, really. Over her right, that went absolutely viral because it just poured.
It was one
blood.
of the worst cuts I've seen.
Yeah, Marlon Esparza-like. Good action here to start round one.
Time.
Those cuts that have happened to Johnson are important to note for this fight. Sometimes Johnson leads with her head when throwing, and it's caused cuts like from accidental headbutts. In past fights, it's caused her a cut in her last fight, and when she fought Susie Ramadan, it caused her a cut on her forehead. So that's just something to be aware of.
That's beautiful. Okay.
Yeah, that's back-to-back.
Give me two big
cuts,
ones.
back-to-back fights, back-to-back cuts.
Stay on it. Yeah, you're doing good.
And that could ruin a fight.
Great start. Keep touching it. Here. Don't you get that body.
Control your level. Don't empty the tank too early. Feel good?
Yeah.
Nothing easy. There's a reason why you're jumping. Stay switched on. Don't jump in.
Seconds out.
Round 2 in this scheduled 10-round fight. Hughes in the black trunks, black gloves. Johnson in the white trunks with orange trim.
This is just going to be a high-paced fight, like you said, because of the 2-minute rounds.
Looking to counter there is Hughes with the right hand over the jab of Johnson.
Johnson likes to counter a lot. She's got that high guard stance.
Oh, and those are some solid combinations landed there by the champ. Double jab right hand, and she's getting countered over her jab hand by that right hand of Hughes, Nico.
Yeah, to combat that, she would just have to throw quicker jabs and just bring her jab back to her face immediately. That can stop getting countered, as we've seen in the last fight, can stop someone from throwing punches.
Good body work there from Hughes as well, but she misses up top. Johnson kind of working at range, using that long jab and using some footwork would benefit her, but she right now kind of trying to stand her ground and bang with Hughes. I don't think that style necessarily serves her well.
No, that's not advisable for Johnson's style. You know, she's a boxer.
There was a strong, stiff jab there that blocked Hughes, but Hughes taking it well and continuing to come forward, looking to throw those looping shots, metering her there with the jab.
Johnson looks like the bigger fighter. It looks like her punches are landing harder on Hughes.
Stop. Box. Time.
One of Johnson's key strengths in just her style is that she's able to slow the pace down of an active fighter. That is going to be crucial in this fight because Hughes is incredibly active. She throws punches. She's relentless with her pressure. Johnson's able to control that and kind of slow it down with her jab. Johnson's able to pick her shots and stay at that mid-range, which is going to be very important. I don't think that she's infighting with Hughes at all.
Remember, your feet are your best defense, yeah? Don't use your chin as your defense. Come on, don't move. Start again, yeah? I want to see some feints and nice tight hands, right? So you can't deal with your work rate, Nathan, but you've got to be clever with it, control, yes? I'll go on his hands, straight back to your chin. Listen to me, I'm so sharp.
I mean, I think so far, though, to start this fight, Hughes has had the better work rate. He's had more significant punches. I think the fight's gone more her way so far. Let's see what adjustments that Johnson can make as she comes off with that jab to start. And she's actually thrown a couple good counters, though, as well. She looks to go down to the body and then finish that combination with the jab. But good combination work there from Hughes.
I mean, we knew with Hughes' style, just in her 6 fights I've seen, just from studying her, that she throws.
Yeah. And even leaps there with that right hand. Down to the body with the jab for Hughes. Back again with the stab jab to the body. And just out of range for those counters from Johnson.
You know, Johnson doesn't throw nearly as much as Hughes, but you don't necessarily need to if you're picking your shots, you're picking the right shots.
I agree.
That distance right there.
Yep, that's perfect. And that was her cleanest combination. I agree. That was the best combination of the fight so far there for Johnson. Gave herself some space, worked on the double jab, and then landed the right hand as well. 40 seconds left to go here in round 3. And kudos already, though, to a 41-year-old world champion. That has to be one of the oldest active world champions, men or women's boxing, period. I love to see it, especially on Mother's Day weekend, a mother of 2 out there doing her thing on display on a high card like this, 3 World Championship fights.
Yeah, that's incredible.
I mean, my respects to Nina Hughes. As a working mom myself, it's not easy, and I have 2 kids as well, and I can imagine working and boxing and raising my kids. It's a lot of work.
Time.
It was a better round there for Johnson.
Yeah.
She had some cleaner shots there, fighting more. I thought, you know, mid to outside range where she likes to be. Let's listen in on the corners.
Very good work, mate. She's starting to get a little bit panicky, yeah? Just keep jabbing. Keep behind the system. Keep splitting that guard. Okay? You're doing good, mate. Just stay on that system now. What are we? That's 3 down. We're going into 4. Stay on the system. The right hand's coming down the middle, very good. Stay on it, okay? You being a counter with that?
Yeah, this was definitely a better round for Johnson. Her jab was finding a home at the end of the round there. And one thing I know about Hughes is that she does throw a lot of punches, but she often headhunts. She doesn't really invest into the body early on in a fight as much as you'd like to see.
I know women's boxing, I mean, I know it has been on such an upswing, but they just, you know, when they're throwing a lot of punches, it's a nice little firefight. They get to work, there's 2 minutes, like, it's exciting.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
it's just fast-paced.
It is. Oh, both of them caught each other. That was a right hand, though, by Hughes that connected. Johnson wore it well. Back to the jab goes Johnson. Oh, nice shots with the left hand on that combination from Johnson.
Johnson's finding a way to counter in between the combos of Hughes.
Hughes much better doing work to the body. She did get it in a good right hand on that exchange, but Johnson, I think, is finding a better rhythm round 3 and then even here in round 4. Beautiful stuff here. These ladies are heating up here in round 4. Down to the body with the right hand. A sneaky uppercut from Johnson on the inside. Good stuff.
Now that pressure, that output from Hughes is going to wear herself down. No one can keep that output for 10 full rounds, even if they're 2-minute rounds.
Stop. Time.
Well, if you saw Michaela Mayer versus Maiva Hamadouche, that fight was incredible. And those ladies fought their butts off for 10 2-minute rounds, but it's far and few between, especially when you keep up the output that Hughes has kept up. I mean, she's thrown over 200 punches in the first 3 rounds.
Yeah, that alone is crazy.
2-minute rounds, mind you.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Stop. Right.
The issue is that Hughes is not just getting a lot of pop on these shots because she's not able to kind of set her feet and get from her base.
Yeah.
Some of that power that she would need. I'm not saying she's going to go in there and, you know, deliver a shot that's going to drop Johnson. I mean, she does have 2 knockouts to her credit, but let's talk about some footwork. Vasiliy Lomachenko working the jump rope that you can barely even see because of how quickly it's spinning around. That he's a master at footwork, and I'm excited to see Vasiliy Lomachenko back in the ring tonight against George Kambosos Jr. in our main event for the vacant IBF lightweight world title. Does the 36-year-old still have enough gas in the tank to make another quest at winning a world title and capturing the only belt that he has never held at lightweight, which is the IBF, or will George Kambosos Jr. walk out a champion tonight and try to redeem himself at the lightweight division after 2 back-to-back losses to Devin Haney? Loma Kambosos. Flashbacks to Lomachenko's last fight against Haney. Coming up next in our main event tonight. But right now we got a good one. between the champ, Nina Hughes, and the challenger, Chernika Johnson. Double jab, right hand, nice right hand there on the end of that combination for Johnson. Hughes answers right back.
Johnson's kind of changing the dynamic of the fight. She's the one coming forward now, whereas Hughes was the one coming forward in the first 4 rounds.
Right. Box.
Working off the jab there is Johnson. Oh, nice right hand connects there for Hughes.
Hughes is looking for that counter.
Stop. Break. Step out. Box.
Normally Hughes counters off of slips. You know, she finds her angles very well, but she's trying to counter off of a lazy jab from Johnson now.
And as you said, her work rate has slowed down.
It would for, that's, you know, she's human.
She is? Are you sure?
I think so.
I think she's a superwoman.
she definitely is. It's amazing what she's doing at her age.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe we'll say superhuman, right?
Superhuman.
15 seconds left here to go in round 5. Back to the stick goes Hughes per corner's instruction. Definitely some steam coming off these shots. She gets caught with a counter right hand, 2 of them there by Johnson.
The pace has definitely slowed for Hughes.
Yeah, did you feel it? Big reps, give me 2 big ones. You heard it when you go to the body. This round we're going to get there, we're going to go Velcro. Okay, we're going to work in Velcro. Don't rush it, but get there. When you're there, you make it fucking dirty. You hit up, you touch it, you do those short ones again. Keep busy. Don't give her space to recover. All right? Body work is where we got to be now. Okay? So we're going to Velcro now.
Strong jab there, Nico, from Johnson to start that combination.
Yeah, that's one of her greatest strengths, her jab. Like I said before, at the start of the fight, Hughes, to get this fight, one of her keys to victory is to take away Johnson's jab. She was trying to do it that last round. She was trying to find a home for that right hand and counter the jab.
Box.
Starting off, doubling up on that jab is Johnson here in round 6. Double jab, right hand for Hughes. That combination has worked for her. Or excuse me, Johnson. She's kept that jab at range. She's had more success with it.
Yep. And she's keeping it to the fundamentals, and it's working for her, Johnson.
One thing Johnson has not done, though, Nico, is go down to the body.
Yep. And you can hear Hughes' corner is telling them to go to Johnson's body.
Stop. Break. Box.
And one thing about Hughes, Nico, is that she's rarely just throwing one shot. She is at least trying to mix it up with her combinations.
Never throwing one shot.
Stop.
It's always 3 or 4 punches from Hughes.
Heads up. Box.
What are the challenges being a taller fighter trying to go down to the body of a shorter fighter, Nico?
It requires more energy to go down to the body of a shorter fighter. The best way to find that body would be a jab to the body.
Good combination there for Johnson. That was great work there in that exchange as she's able to then block those shots coming from Hughes off her gloves.
And Hughes is already bloodied a bit.
Working in the clinch here is Johnson as she finishes this round strong. Down to the body there for Hughes.
She's working that body very well now, Hughes.
Time.
Yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, Johnson being the taller fighter, she can find the body of Hughes by throwing a jab to the body. That sets up everything.
Your hands down. If you don't get them back, yeah?
It just requires more energy for the taller fighter to get down to the body of a shorter fighter.
Keep your shape at all times. Try and listen to me all the time.
Body's always
don't throw and leave your chin there. As soon as you throw, use your feet. Yeah. When you're rolling off, you're rolling too slow. Bump sharp. Everything's sharp. Yeah. She's slow, Nick. She's nowhere near the speed of your hand. Throw your shots and go. Don't let her walk you back in the corners on the ropes. Yeah. Right. She comes in close. Tie her up.
That was a beautiful combo from both of them, honestly. That's where it's the most dangerous to throw a punch, is while the other person is throwing a punch. They caught each other in that exchange.
And I think that was a better round, though, for Johnson there.
Yeah.
Box. But, I mean, the way Hughes started, the way Johnson's came on in the last few, could be pretty even on these judges' scorecards here in the 7th round.
Yeah. The next few rounds, just as the last fight, could determine the entire fight.
Hughes' corner telling her, you know, you're faster than her.
Stop. Break. Break.
And she is. Hughes is definitely faster than Johnson, but Johnson's just picking her shots well, and it's working for her.
Well, and I think that even though she hasn't thrown nearly as many punches as Hughes does, she's landing at a higher clip.
Yeah. She's more accurate.
Hughes trying to break through that guard. Double jab, triple jab, right hand from Johnson.
That was a beautiful counter with the left.
Yeah, it was. Right around the guard of that right hand of Hughes.
No holding. Come on. Stop. Break. Step out. Box.
One great thing that we haven't seen in this fight is that there's been no clash of heads, which is great to see.
Don't jinx us.
I'm not jinxing
we still have
nothing.
A couple
I'm just
rounds
saying.
left.
I'm just saying.
We haven't seen yet.
Let's really hope not.
Yeah. You do see some blood, though, from the face of Hughes, probably from her nose. She's eaten some stiff jabs from Johnson. Her face,
yeah, it's on the right side of her face.
Yeah, definitely worse for wear than maybe now Johnson with some blood coming down her nose. You got to be tight on your defense on the inside when you fight Hughes, right?
Yeah,
I mean, you got to
because those punches, even if they're not necessarily hard shots, if they're landing, they're going to do damage no matter what.
Kind of sweet, kind of savage. Into the Sugarneek's corner. Slight cut there, Nico, over that right eyelid. You see it.
Blood doesn't bother her.
Let's go deep with her.
She's not accustomed to it, although she did choose to
get on that jab, and I need you to work. I need to make it ugly.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, the cuts that she had when she fought Susie Ramadan, which was 2 fights ago, was brutal. And she fought for about,
you're waiting too long between
I think it was
face.
like maybe 7 or 8 rounds, and it was just all in her face. It was a bad cut.
And that right hand gets through there.
Beautiful combo there from Hughes.
Started with the jab and then was able to sneak in the right hand.
That's what Hughes is going to have to do. Johnson fights with that high guard. With the high guard, fighting someone with the high guard, you're going to have to throw more than one punch to land.
One thing Hughes hasn't thrown much is an uppercut, and I've seen on tape that she has a nice sneaky uppercut because she has that kind of crouched over inside style.
Yeah.
She hasn't really thrown one yet. And when a fighter has a high guard, you might be able to catch him there, but so far back and forth, solid action here to start round 8, and Hughes catches Johnson pulling out on the outside.
Yep. And you can see Hughes is changing her levels. That's one thing she does very well. She throws upstairs, downstairs. She keeps her opponents guessing that way. It's a good start for Hughes.
Blood once again streaming down the nose of Johnson.
Step out. Box.
I mean, 8, 9, and 10, this fight really could be up for grabs here. Good counter shot there from Hughes. Johnson slowing down a bit here in this round, Nico.
Yeah.
Down to the body with the right hand there.
Put his head down, keep your head
You know,
up.
Hughes is going to Johnson's body. That'll slow anybody down.
Oh, nice hook too from
Beautiful
Hughes.
combo.
Yes. Oh, nice shots there. Crisp punches from Hughes.
Stop, break, step out.
This is turning into a firefight.
Box.
Oh, nice right hand on the end of that combination too. And I don't think it suits Johnson very well to just stand there at that mid-range or in close without throwing punches. She's either got a jab or she's got to continue to use her footwork and move around the outside.
Johnson's the better boxer. She needs to stay on the outside.
Yeah, but she's not looking to box right now, it doesn't seem like.
Box.
She was scoring when she was giving herself that space.
Yeah. Hopefully her corner says that to her.
Let's listen in.
Now.
Breathing hard, mate. Breathing hard. You've got to take it to her, all right? You get behind the jab, which is good.
Yeah, just press it straight in on that eye.
All right? Stay behind the jab, but I need you to be busy in between the jab and what you do.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Look,
remember what we said, remember what we practiced? Yeah. Solid, go on and move. Go on and move, yeah? Don't move all slow, yeah? Laxy daisy. Everything's got to be switched on, yeah? 4 minutes, Lee. She's going to kick.
This is one of those combos that was great for Hughes. Oh, that was a great shot from Johnson.
Seconds out. Seconds out. Let's go.
There's some really good back and forth action in that last round. Both fighters had some moments, and it's rounds 9 and 10. The champ looking to defend her title for the second time, and Johnson, I mean, making a case for the belt as well. Can she finish strong these 2 rounds and take that belt? She's gonna have to up her output, Nico. Like her coach said, she's got to use her jab and get busier.
And she's doing it. She's doing it right now.
I'm pushing the head down. Stop.
Hughes trying to put some of her little body weight on top of Hughes right now, wear
her
her down.
It's tough to see from a shorter fighter doing it to a tall fighter. That was a great right hand to the body from Johnson.
You can tell Hughes felt that for just a minute. There was a brief pause there. Nice right hand lands in the end of that combination from Johnson, and she's definitely listening. She's getting busier here in round 9.
Right. Step out. Box.
The way that Hughes has her guard, she's compact with her guard. She sits kind of low, so she's hard to hit at times.
Stop. Right. Lane break. Come on. Box.
Johnson's maintaining the high guard, blocking those shots.
Nice double jab, right hand. There's the chopping right hand again. It's been a combination that she's used time and time again, but it's been effective. It's nothing too fancy about it.
Switch stance.
She sure did, and then Hughes
great.
finally threw that little uppercut I was talking about earlier.
This is the round coming up right now.
Let's listen in.
She needs a round of her life. Swap the gumshoe. Where's the other one?
We got it. All good.
Nina, she needs a round of her life, yeah? Yeah? You listen to what I'm telling you?
Yes.
This girl wants what you've got. Please don't let her take. This is your 2 little boys at home. Remember what they said to you? Yeah? You're not going to let this girl take.
No.
Now use this ring now. Use your boxing. Remember when you was on that TV spot when you in tournaments, yeah? As an amateur with that jab? Use it. I want pop, move. I want fast feet the whole round. Yeah? Do not leave your chin there. Do not be lazy. She's going to come at you like a train. 2 minutes of your life, mate. Yeah? Please stay switched on.
Seconds out.
Come on, Nina.
Let's go.
Yeah?
Seconds out.
Absolutely
Come on, center ring.
excellent from her trainer in the corner. Even,
That's
pulled the
the round
family
of her
card.
life.
This You know, what have your sons told you? What have your kids told you? You got 2 minutes. Don't let her take what's yours, what you've worked for. She's got to have the round of her life. And Johnson coming out fighting like it now to start round 10.
Ooh, this is the round that could mean the fight for either of them.
Johnson stalking Hughes now. Hughes doesn't want to take any unnecessary risks, feeling like she's done enough possibly to win the fight and still remain champion. Johnson's got to get after it now. 1:25 left here. Off the jab goes Johnson. Good start here for Johnson so far.
Hughes is working off the back foot.
She is. They want her to continue to move, but I do think
believe they're up on the scorecards.
It did sound like that, but I do think that Hughes should still throw some more.
Yeah, it's tough
punches.
because it's hard to say if anyone's up on the scorecards right now.
Maloney certainly thought he was in our last fight and didn't seem to be the case.
Yeah, you never know. You never know.
Under a minute left now in the fight. The WBA Bantamweight World Championship on the line.
Let's go, let's box.
Will the 41-year-old mother of two walk out of here remaining undefeated with the world title in hand, or will the 15-2 29-year-old New Zealand-born fighter fighting out of Melbourne, Australia, walk away now a two-time world champion? She is the former IBF junior featherweight world champion, and right now she is taking it to Hughes for this last and final round. Back and forth. It's been a really good fight between these two ladies, and just like that, 20 minutes of action in the books, and we're gonna go to the scorecards for our co-main event. What do you think, Nico?
This is gonna be another tough fight to score. It'll come down to who landed the cleaner shots. But you can tell that Hughes' corner believed that she was up on the scorecards the way that she was fighting the beginning of the last round on her back foot. More defensively, it looked like at the start of the round.
Yeah, I don't think that was necessarily. I mean, I know when they told her in the Hughes corner, you know, Johnson has to have the round of her life, I didn't think that meant for her to just continue to move around the outside. I thought it was everything you have and don't let her take it from you.
Yeah, now if Johnson wins the fight, then, you know, you'll know that you shouldn't have done that. There's been a lot of times where we've seen that fighters take the last round off.
Coming up next for the vacant IBF lightweight world title, Vasiliy Lomachenko versus George Kambosos. That is coming up next, and Nina Hughes with a smile on her face, feeling like she has done enough tonight to walk away with her belt in tow. But I think Sharnika Johnson made it really difficult tonight. Won some rounds there, and you know, it could be very close again on these judges' scorecards. Mind you, one of the judges tonight for this fight is also the referee for our main event.
Oh, wow.
It's busy. Busy, busy. Nico, I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Please.
You were the judge. Who won this fight?
Center ring, please.
Based off of who landed the cleaner shots, I would say Johnson.
And I thought the referee was, or the ring announcer was getting ready to make the decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, could we please have a round of applause for these two world-class warriors? After 10 rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. Judge Oliveira scores the competition 95-95 draw. Judge Keatley scores the competition 96-94. And Judge Nakamura scores the competition 98-92 for your winner by majority decision. And still, the WBA Women's Bantamweight World Champion,
undefeated, 7-0 with 2 knockouts, winning pretty wide on one of really wide, 98-92. I didn't see that coming. On one scorecard, 96-94 for Hughes, and the other judge 95-95. A draw. We definitely thought it was a close fight. It was reflected on 2 of the 3 scorecards, but Hughes remains champion.
Judge Oliveira scores the competition, 95-95.
Wow.
Keeley scores the competition,
he made a mistake.
94. Nakamura, 98-92 for your winner by majority. Fighting out of the blue corner.
Oh, he made a mistake.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
He made an epic
I have never
mistake.
seen that before.
Oh my Lord.
I have never seen that before. That's incredible. Wow.
Wow. Wow. I mean, what a roller coaster of emotions.
Wow.
So wait, you're telling me he announced 96-94 and 98-92 both for Hughes incorrectly? That is insane.
I am shocked.
Firstly, you thought the decision was going the other way. What are you feeling right now that you know you've got that?
I thought I won the fight, and then when they announced Nina, you know, I just had to accept it. Like, I'm not the judge, and I'm just glad that they figured out the wrong decision. You know, I thought that I controlled center ring, landed the cleaner shots. Nina was a tough fight, you know, we knew that she was going to come to fight. I don't know, like I can't say anything to the team because I'm not the judges, but I definitely feel that I won that fight. So I'm just over the moon that I won this bout. You know, I envisioned it, and I envisioned it the first time round. So yeah, I'm thankful.
That is your new world champion, Chinika Johnson. I'll have a chat with Nina Hughes. What are you feeling right now? Because it felt right for a moment, and I'm sure it doesn't now.
I just don't get it. How can they announce that I've won and then change the scores? I thought I dominated early. I felt she won a few of the later rounds, but I felt like I won it comfortably. I don't get how you can announce a winner and then change the scores. Like, it's a joke. I feel like I've been robbed big time.
What happens next for you?
It's got to be a rematch. I didn't lose that fight.
And we're hearing there is a rematch clause in this fight. Lou, do you think that should happen now?
I think the announcement that's wrong shouldn't happen. It was a very close fight. I thought it was a very close fight, but I'm sort of shocked by it's unfair to have to suffer through that, to think you won and celebrate and have a decision turned over. That's screwed up, huh? You know?
Well, that's the result. So Chinika Johnson is your new world champion.
That's so unfortunate because that mistake utterly robbed Chinika Johnson of her moment, hearing "and the new," and it robbed Nina Hughes of
You're so right.
of a decision that she felt like feels like she rightfully won, and that's so unfortunate.
It is.
Either way, 98-92. Either way is wide. It was a very close fight, but it was an exciting fight, and I'm upset for both of them that it was marred by controversy by the way that the fight was announced by the ring announcer.
Yeah, you know, as a fighter, you know, like Johnson was saying, she envisioned this moment. Fighters envision their victory. You know, you want to hear "and new." So you're right. She was robbed of the moment of hearing "and new," which is very important, as little as it sounds. But, you know, I felt Johnson won the fight. I'm glad that she actually won the fight. And, you know, it's unfortunate that it happened the way it did in terms of the way the decision was announced.
Well, nonetheless, I'm still happy that Johnson got her moment, because if that's who the judges voted for, scored the fight for on the scorecard, then she deserved to walk out of there then a champion tonight.
Yeah.
You saw the fight going that way.
It
was
going that
close.
way.
And whether he said it right or he said it wrong, she's still walking out of there with that belt, and she still feels tonight like a world champion. And I'm gutted for Hughes. Like Ludabella said, there is a rematch clause. Maybe they run it back and do it again. If it isn't announced that way, are we sitting here talking about it being controversial? Maybe a 98-92 scorecard, but nonetheless, you know, a draw on one scorecard in 96-94 Johnson's way is not far-fetched at all. But we move on. Such as boxing, to our main event tonight. Vasiliy Lomachenko taking on George Kambosos for the vacant IBF lightweight world title. But first, Bernardo Osuna had a chance to head back to the locker room. He is on site there, and have a quick conversation with Andrew Maloney in regards to his post-fight comments on his injury and retirement. So here is Bernardo Osuna just a few moments ago in the locker room with Andrew Maloney.
Devastating decision for you. Walk me through your reaction when you heard that it was Guevara leaving Australia with that belt.
Honestly, I should say I'm shocked, but I've been here before in this sport. It's corrupt as fucking anything. I thought I won 10 rounds to 2. I was in total control. I could have picked it up if I needed to. I went into the fight with an injury, and I knew that if I needed to pick it up, I could, but I didn't feel like I needed to. I felt in total control. I thought at max I lost 2 rounds, and I should have been walking home with that belt. I've given my life to this sport for 20 years. That's twice they've ripped me off for a world title. And I thank Top Rank, I thank my whole team, but I'm fucking done with this sport because it's corrupt, and I can't do anything more than I already am, so I'm out.
Talk to me about the injury, because I see how you are holding your arm. What happened?
I tore my bicep 8 days out from the fight, and I can jab perfectly, so that's why I stuck behind my jab the whole fight. And I thought if I need to throw my hook and my rip, I can. It's there if I need it. I'll dig deep. But I didn't even feel like I needed to bring it out because I was in total control. I just can't believe, I don't know how anyone can see that he's won that fight. The only way you can see him winning that fight is by corruption. And that's all I can say.
I know that the emotions are obviously running very high, and this visceral reaction of retiring on the moment, is there any turning back? You were very competitive. It was a great fight. I know you understand the politics and how frustrated you are, but is this something definitive?
I don't know. Look, I'm going to have to surgery on my bicep. We'll see how long that takes to heal. If they'll give me an immediate rematch, maybe I'll look at it. Because with 2 arms, I'll knock him out, no problem.
Thank you very much. Always been a part of the Top Rank on ESPN family. We hope to see you and Jason in the near future.
All right, so we kind of doubled down on his comments and how he felt there about the decision, injuring his bicep 8 days out from the fight, saying, you know, I thought I still could win this fight with my jab. You're fighting at a high level. I understand you not wanting to pull out of a fight after putting in all that work, but unfortunately tonight it cost him a decision and the interim world title. So perhaps a rematch, and we'll see him back in the ring again. But before we get to our main event, another clip of this outstanding Top Rank series, Redemption Road.
And now, the undisputed lightweight champion of the world, the Takeover, Teofimo Lopez!
The unforgiving part about boxing is that a loss to us is pretty much, especially in the modern day era today that we live in, where it's all about the Mayweather. Oh, any loss that you have, it's like you put yourself in the coffin.
If you lose, you're not who they thought you was to be.
Undefeated has become so important, just to stay undefeated. And it's not like that in other sports.
The difference between Patrick Mahomes, LeBron James, Tiger Woods is that they've found ways of adjusting to their losses, redeeming themselves, getting back.
Boxing has no sympathy for any fighter who takes an L. One loss, one slip-up can change everything for you.
One day you could be the biggest star, and the next day you could get knocked off your pivot like this.
But hey, things happen. The redemption part is the best part.
It is over. Loma is back. Vintage form. And now the WBO Intercontinental Lightweight Champion, Vasiliy Lomachenko.
What motivated you in those championship rounds in what seemed to be a very close fight?
You know what motivated me. Of course, 4 belts.
The man who holds the 4 belts is here.
Congratulations, and hopefully we can get it on. I will be ready.
Once you redeem yourself to a magnitude that nobody expected, you're a bigger star than who you was before.
Vasiliy Lomachenko, destined for greatness. And now here he is at 35. This moment for all the belts. Ready to go at it. Here we go for undisputed.
Oh, shot. He hurt him with that.
On the inside from Lomachenko.
Oh, beautiful body shot.
Look at this work from Lomachenko.
These are the moments you dream of. A close, tight fight. The crowd is going crazy. You might be down, you might be up, you don't know. You gotta dig deep and you gotta find something right now.
And still undisputed lightweight champion of the world, Devin the Dream Haney!
Devin Haney is 30-0. He defends the undisputed lightweight championship by defeating Vasiliy Lomachenko in a classic. And you can see the expression on Lomachenko's face.
Haney versus Loma was an extremely close fight. There's plenty of people who believe Haney won, plenty of people who believe Lomachenko won.
I had a chance. I lose this chance. On the paper, I am not a world championship, undisputed world champion. But inside, if we talk with Teofimo, okay, it was a close. But if we're talking about Haney, you know, it was not a close fight. I know, I understand, I win this fight. People knows about this result, about this robbery.
I think because Lomachenko has close fights with Teofimo and Devin Haney, that perseverance and determination is still very high for him. And those losses, you know, those really, really close, controversial losses that he's taken in his career, he still believes he's the best.
Usually after a loss, the question is, what do we do?
Mental resilience for a fighter to bounce back after defeat has to be on another level. A lot of fighters don't bounce back from defeat.
Depending how bad the defeat is, sometimes people just say good riddance. And sometimes other people say, I don't think they'll ever come back ever again the same. And I think in those key found moments, it's more so, what more can I do now that I've lost everything?
You look at guys like Lomachenko, you look at guys like Kambosos, and, you know, it gives you hope that you can, you know, continue to make a name for yourself. You can come back. That's why I think that this fight is so exciting. These guys are put in a position to show that you can come back from being defeated. A real champion is someone who gets knocked down, gets back up, and prove who they really are.
This fight rejuvenates my career, and I believe this is my destiny. The way this has happened, this is a different Kambosos that we'll see on May 12th.
You've seen fighters come back and do great things at ages that people never thought they could do it at. You just don't know. I mean, that's where perseverance comes into play. You don't know how much perseverance that fighter has.
Loma has been doing this his whole life. This is everything he knows. This is everything he wants. This is all he wants. Getting back to the top and winning this fight is extremely important to him. He's been through this before. He's been through this journey to collect these bouts and came up short, but I doubt he'll let that happen again.
Once by the river, I heard.
My mindset is I'm facing the best Lomachenko there has ever been. This is my career-defining moment. That Kambosos is still here. He has the IBF again. I feel like that belt is not meant to be for him. The one that is on the line now, it's the one belt that he has not been able to get. And it'll be the same thing come May 12th. I will take that belt, that another IBF added to my cabinet.
This moment, it's a very special moment for me. He's a true warrior. Of course, I won't win for my motivation. And I can wait, go in the ring again.
There is no plan B. I cannot lose this fight. And that's the same, I'm sure, for Vasiliy Lomachenko. He cannot have a plan B, but I just feel like I want it more.
We'll see what happens.
Boxing is like a story, and you're waiting to see how it ends and how it continues. And this is what this fight is. It's a story. We have both had our career and our journeys to the top of the mountain. And now we'll get to see, is there a part 2, or does the story end? Legacy is on the line, world titles are on the line, Hall of Fame is on the line, and this is Australian boxing history. I'm looking forward to shocking the world again.
It's just the beginning.
Champion of the world.
All right, before the fighters get ready to make the ring walks, Mark Kriegel had a chance to set the scene for the fight with both George Kambosos and Vasiliy Lomachenko. What's on the line, the story to the fight, a little more before they make the ring walks. Take a listen.
Your winner by unanimous decision, Devin the Dream! Lomachenko has lost.
Kambosos' face shows the wear after what Haney has done.
Look, this is the fight game. It's unforgiving. Sometimes it's not about what you've been able to do, but what happens on that one given night.
I had a chance, I lose this chance. On the paper, I am not undisputed world champion. It's not easy to take all 4 belts. After the Haney, I don't have a motivation to continue. But right now, I have a motivation.
We both want to show that we are both still at the top of our game. I don't know how strong that mindset and that belief is. He can still become undisputed. In my head, no, that is gone. That dream is finished.
Right now, I think I don't need to prove something. No, I just want to show my best and show again who I am in the boxing.
This fight is scheduled for 12 3-minute rounds of Professional World Championship Lightweight Boxing. It is for the vacant IBF World Lightweight title. The sanctioning body is the Western Australia Professional Combat Sports Commission. Inspector Tony Grover. Your IBF supervisor is Gary Ingraham. Your judges are ringside. Barbosa Russell from Canada, Steve Gray from Great Britain, and Michaela C. Shamaya from Japan. And your referee when the bell rings from Japan is Katsu Hiku Nakamura. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for all the fight fans gathered here at a sold-out RAC Arena in Perth, Western Australia, and for all the fight fans watching this event live around the world, ladies and gentlemen, would somebody, somewhere, make some noise? Introducing first, making his way to the blue corner, this is George Kambosos Jr. Welcome.
George Kambosos making his way to the ring now, 21-2 with 10 KOs. Coming off a questionable win against Maxie Hughes in his last fight after 2 consecutive losses to Devin Haney. Looking to get the win tonight against Lomachenko and let people know that he feels that this fight would rejuvenate his career, that gives him redemption, that's saying that this fight is about my legacy is on the line. But winning this fight does great things, he feels, for his career and his legacy, and what it does definitely is make him once again a world champion, and that's something that both him and Vasiliy Lomachenko desperately need in order to continue that quest back to both of their goals, which is trying to be once again undisputed in the lightweight division. It starts tonight with the IBF World what makes the difference tonight in the fight against Vasiliy Lomachenko. More on that as we move on, but Vasiliy Lomachenko getting ready to make his way to the ring now out of Ackerman, Ukraine. The southpaw, 17-3, 11 KOs. There alongside his dad, Anatoly, more affectionately known as Papachenko for the majority of his career. Still ranked #1 by ESPN, #3 by the IBF, has been in 15 world champion fights, 3-division world champion, 2-time Olympian, 10-year pro. Tonight, fighting for the IBF belt. It's the only belt, Nico, in the lightweight division that he has not held. That belt was on the line when he fought Teofimo Lopez, walking away that night without any belts as Teofimo Lopez won those belts, goes on to become unified world champion. So the coveted IBF has not been in the grasp of the great Vasiliy Lomachenko.
It's just interesting to see how the matchmaking of boxing works. You know, Teofimo ended up beating Lomachenko, then Kambosos beat Teofimo, and now Loma and Kambosos are fighting. So
for all those same belts,
yeah,
that then
so
were won by
see.
Devin Haney over Kambosos, then were vacated, exactly. The referee for this fight, Nakamura, was also one of the judges in our
Ladies and
previous
gentlemen,
fight.
if you are able, please be upstanding for the national anthem of Ukraine, performed by Julia Sved, and the Greek and Australian national anthem, performed by Zoe Pettery.
України, ні слава, ні вся доля, згинуть наші вороженьки, як роса на сонці, запануєм і ми, браття, у своїй сторонці, душу й тіло ми положим за нашу свободу і покажем, що ми браття козацького роду. Слава Україні! Σε γνωρίζω από την κόψη του σπαθιού την τρομερή. Σε γνωρίζω από την όψη που με διαμετράει τη γη. Απ' τα κόκαλα βγαλμένη των Ελλήνων τα ιερά και σαν πρώτα ανδριωμένη, χαίρε, χαίρε, ελευθεριά. Και σαν πρώτα ανδριωμένη, χαίρε, χαίρε, ελευθεριά. Και σαν πρώτα ανδριωμένη, χαίρε, χαίρε, ελευθεριά. Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are one and free. With gold and soil and wealth for toil, our home is girt by sea. A land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty rich and rare. In history's face, let every state advance Australia fair. In joyful strains and let us sing, advance Australia
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the day. It is scheduled for 12 3-minute rounds of professional world championship lightweight boxing action. It is for the vacant IBF World Lightweight title. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner. He enters the ring wearing black trunks with white trim, weighing in at 61.2 kilograms or 134.95 pounds. Hailing from Akerman, Ukraine, he has a legendary amateur boxing career of 397 amateur fights with 396 wins, 1 loss. He is a 2-time Olympic gold medalist, a 2-time gold medalist in the Boxing World Champs. He is a 2-time international lightweight champion, a WBO World Light Featherweight champion, a WBO World Super Featherweight champion, and a unified and lineal lightweight champion of the world. He is trained by Vasiliy Lomachenko, representing Lomachenko Gym. Ladies and gentlemen, he has 20 professional fights with 17 wins, 3 losses, with 11 big wins coming by way of knockout. Introducing the Matrix, Vasiliy Lomachenko! And his opponent fighting out of the blue corner, enters the ring wearing light brown trunks with blue trim. Weighing in at 60.9 kilograms or 134.25 pounds. Hailing and residing in Sydney, New South Wales, Australia, He's a former Australian lightweight champion, a Pan-Asian Boxing Association lightweight champion, an IBF Pan-Pacific lightweight champion. He's the former IBF, WBO, WBA franchise, and Ring Magazine lightweight champion of the world. He is the current IBO lightweight champion of the world. He is trained by Jim Kambosos and Anatoly Kalugin. Ladies and gentlemen, he has 23 professional fights with 21 wins, 2 losses, with 10 big wins coming by way of knockout. Introducing ferocious George Kambosos Jr. Fighters in the center ring, please. For referee Nakamura's instructions.
Mouthpiece. 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 World Championship by 12 rounds. Obey the rule. Watch my message. Show you a clean fight. Now let's get started.
All right, here we go. Our main event. 12 rounds scheduled for the vacant IBF world title. 36-year-old Vasiliy Lomachenko. How much does he still have left in the tank? Is he still the Matrix? Is he able to dominate from that southpaw stance, or will George Ferocious Kambosos prove to be too much with his deceptive power, excellent timing, a good hand speed, also 6 years his junior? Christina Poncher, Nico Ali Walsh on the call with you here, Perth, Australia. Lomachenko with the black trunks, Kambosos Jr. with the cream and blue trunks. Right away, battle of the jabs. You see the orthodox stance of Kambosos. This is the second consecutive southpaw opponent that Kambosos has fought. Came out of the winning end of a majority decision in a very close fight in his last fight against Maxie Hughes, who was also a southpaw, and gave him some trouble in that fight, Nico.
Yeah, that was a tough fight. That was a tough fight for Kambosos. Controversial win, actually. The keys to victory for Kambosos here tonight, he's got to make it a rough fight. He's got to make it a bit of an ugly fight. He's got to invest to Loma's body early on, the way Devin Haney did, which, you know, arguably won Devin the fight. And he's got to maintain a high work rate, Kambosos. We all know Loma's the master of footwork, so his keys to victory would be to just utilize his superior footwork, start early on, which is very important, and to control the center of the ring, which is what he's doing now. The only issue, the biggest issue we'd see with Lomachenko is that he downloads his opponents too long and he starts too late in his fights. So he's got to start early on.
You can already see the redness on the left side of the body of Lomachenko, and you talked about working the body for Kambosos just now as one of your keys, and he's already invested there 2 good body shots here in round 1 for Kambosos. And there he goes right back to it again, both sides.
Beautiful combo.
Really nice work there for Kambosos Jr.
See, that was the argument with the controversial loss to Devin from Lomachenko, was that Devin was landing body punches, clean body punches the entire fight. So Kambosos has to take a page from Devin's book and do the same thing.
Kambosos also has a new voice in the corner alongside Ramon Matthews Jr., who is in the corner for the Maxie Hughes fight, and his father, Anton Kadushin, the amateur coach for the Russian team, is now in his corner and feels like he has put together a perfect game plan for Kambosos to beat Lomachenko, preparing for this fight together for the last, 8 to 10 weeks.
It's interesting to see when a fighter has a trainer change, to see how they adapt to the new style or the new techniques that the coach is trying to teach them.
Yeah, we'll see how that plays out throughout the course of the fight. Actually, Kambosos has had quite a few different head coaches in his career. He's on at least coach number 4, if not more, as we wrap up round 1 in what had been a pretty solid start for Kambosos Jr., especially when it came to the body attack being established in round 1.
I'd say so, and he definitely has to stick with that. Definitely stick to the body early on in the fight.
Let's listen into the Kambosos corner.
He's going to right side.
I'll show you.
Right punch, right to chest, right to chest. Using jab, and no weight him. You need little bit pressure him. jab to body, and touch right, and pressure now. Pressure all time. He's jumping back, you stay one place. No, pressure. And take control his left hand. Catch, and pressure him, yes. Jab to body, slip, left lever, and jab, slip, right to body. Okay?
Round by round. Come on. I ain't sitting white on him, though.
Josh, don't doubt, and no weight here.
Please.
You work.
The first corner instruction ever between rounds from Anton Kadushin and Kambosos Jr. Very specific instructions, what they're looking for from his charge here as we enter round 2.
And it looks like last round Loma did get started early on. It looked like he was letting his hands go.
Actually, just one punch, according to CompuBox, in that last round separated the two. The difference was the 3 body shots that landed clean for Kambosos there. As you mentioned, Lomachenko sometimes giving away early rounds in big fights, taking him a while to get started. Definitely was evident in that fight against Teofimo Lopez.
Yeah.
Probably could have even got started a little earlier against Haney, but there are several people who thought he pulled away with the decision that night. Unfortunately, wasn't the case for him and his team on the scorecards. But he's getting a chance now at one of those belts, the IBF tonight, that's vacant since Haney moved up to 140. Those fights have been peppered around the division. 4 different fights now that each of these guys will have to go through to become unified or undisputed once again at this weight class. As Lomachenko starts to get in a little more of a rhythm with his upper body movement, working off that jab in the southpaw stance. Kambosos' hand speed on display there as Loma looks to counter with the left hook.
Kambosos is fast. I mean, he throws fast. The only problem that we've seen in some other fights is that he gets caught being squared in front of his opponent. When he throws his lead right, he gets caught being squared, and Lomachenko can counter easily from that.
Only the 3rd southpaw opponent in the career of Kambosos Jr. Maxie Hughes being the most recent one. He definitely gave him some fits with his style, and then he fought a southpaw early on in his career that he was victorious against. Obviously, he's only 2 losses in his career coming at the hands of Devin Haney.
Maxie Hughes was landing a lot of left hands on Kambosos when they fought.
Surely was, and Kambosos kept going to the right side time and time again, like he is now, into that strong left hand of a southpaw. Lomachenko looking to feint now with his feet and cut off the ring, stop Kambosos there. Kambosos looks to fire back, bring action to the center of the ring.
Lomachenko he's a range finder. He's best at the range that he's at right now, and he's able to shift out of range.
Body shot landed there from Kambosos. Wasn't able to get out of range in time there, and that's one of the things at 36 years old. I've mentioned his age several times, but that's because Vasiliy Lomachenko himself said, I'm not naive to the fact that as I get older, retirement is near, and I know you do lose some of your speed. Things do slow down, but do I have enough in me to pull out another run at Undisputed? I'm just looking at it one fight at a time. I've slowed down my training. I've given myself more breaks. I'm realistic about where I'm at right now. Many people still feel like even if a slightly step back, Lomachenko still has enough tools in the bag to defeat a George Kambosos, and that's why he's still the favorite tonight.
Definitely, speed, of course, they say is the first thing to go as you age. But I don't see a drastic change in Lomachenko's speed. I think he's starting off very well here. He's landing these good combos. He's getting in and out of his punches, which we've seen in many of his fights.
And he's definitely more economical with his shots. You can see he's landing some good shots in that combination. He doesn't throw just to stay busy.
No, he doesn't throw unnecessarily. If he's throwing, he's throwing to land.
He didn't quite get that right hand turned over, and that left just nabbed him on the chin, or excuse me, on the nose there. But still, you're starting to see the punch output increase for Vasiliy Lomachenko now as we get into round 3. Like you said, how long would it take him to, warm up, to download, however you want to say it? And I think
he started early on, which I said was the biggest thing. That's an important, crucial part if Loma wants to win drastically.
Especially down in Australia, especially after coming off a fight a year ago, almost to the day, where you felt you were robbed on the scorecards. You're going into enemy territory. The belt is vacant. You can't give away any early rounds.
Yeah, you know, a loss like that Loma had against Devin, against Haney, it could make or break a fighter. You know, and after the loss, Loma said that he lost his motivation, but now he may have it back.
Kambosos looking to push the action, and you can tell he does have some decent hand speed, and he gets clipped with the left hand there from Lomachenko. Looking to work the body with the left is Kambosos. You can tell that was a point of emphasis and one of your keys in preparation for this fight.
That left hand is going to be very important for Loma, especially as the rounds go on, because right now tensions are high. You know, these guys are still full of energy. But once that starts landing, that could change the course of the fight.
Good counters from Lomachenko there. Very economical with these shots, but having his way when these two go head to head. Double jab left hand from the southpaw.
Kambosos was going to the body great last round. There he goes again. I don't believe that was a low blow.
Yeah, me neither. I'm right there with you, and boos from the crowd as they...
The crowd doesn't believe me either.
Just on the belt line there. Nice counter jab there from Kambosos.
Lomachenko's movement, the way he's moving with his head, in and out, you can see with his feet. For Kambosos, it's hard to find a rhythm. It keeps him guessing. He kind of gets stuck there, gets gun shy. It's hard fighting a fighter like Lomachenko with his movement.
Yeah, and he actually uses his footwork defensively so well, too, to just get himself on the exit on a perfect angle to really
different
avoid.
Angles, always.
Tripling up on the jab there. Down to the body goes Kambosos.
Loma's trying to show more of that matrix that he had in him. He said, you know, there was a point where he was called No Moschenko.
Oh,
no one wanted to fight him.
Absolutely.
People were quitting on the stool.
I mean, that was down at the lower weight classes for him. Mind you, remember, he came from 126 pounds as he goes to the bell there and flashes of that lighter weight Lomachenko there with that hand speed on display. He hasn't really stopped anybody since he's moved up in weight to 135 pounds, but in fact, his last stoppage came against Nakatani, and so he has got that stoppage against Nakatani and Kroller, but it's been 4 years since we've seen it.
And Kambosos has never been stopped, so I think everyone would be shocked to see that happen.
Okay? How do you feel? How do you feel? You're doing good. Okay.
That's a perfect left counter. That's going to land all night for Loma, I believe. And Kambosos still, maybe that was a little low. These guys came to fight.
Oh, they absolutely did.
These guys came to fight.
You saw the stare downs at the
10-minute stare down.
The 10-minute, the weigh-in, the press conference, the art of war Kambosos brings. Lomachenko's here for the gamemanship. He's not a big talker, but he also will never back down from a challenge.
No, once Lomachenko gets going, once he finds that rhythm, it really makes it rough for the opponent.
That was a good round, last round, round 3. I don't think that's a good place for Kambosos Jr. to be in that corner.
No, you can tell Lomachenko finds his rhythm when he starts going in and out like that.
Yes. Kambosos looking to bait him in on some feints here.
Yeah, it looks like they're both trying to bait each other. They're trying to find the range. You have that a lot when you're fighting a southpaw. You play, you know, with each other's hands.
Oh, nice left hand.
Shot.
Snap the head back there of Kambosos Jr. And a good 40 seconds has gone by before there. Kambosos has let his hands go. Kambosos waiting, being patient, trying to pick his shot here against Lomachenko. Lomachenko doing the same. 3-punch combination and works his way out. Does Lomachenko back to the stick.
Yeah, Loma's just so unpredictable with his footwork. He's coming from different angles. It's hard to predict if you were Kambosos.
Yeah, he's having a good round here in round 4. Nice shot, way to get around that guard with that right hand, and then he throws a jab down to the body of Kambosos there, then snaps his head back with the jab. Nice left hand lands as Kambosos looks to counter. Lomachenko in good rhythm here in round 4. About a minute left to go.
Loma's looking to make a statement. You could tell. He's sitting down on these shots. He's throwing hard shots and they're landing.
Kambosos' face already pretty red here in round 4 as he looks to tag the body once again, where he found success early in round 1. Shot blocked there from Lomachenko. Or jab scores for Lomachenko. Best round of the fight so far from the 3-division world champion.
The left hand is finding its way to Kambosos' cheek every single time it's thrown from Loma.
10 seconds left here to go in round 4. Kambosos trying to finish the round strong. Flurry of shots there, none very effective. Down to the body with the jab. That was a good jab.
That was a great round for Loma. He's landing those straight lefts more frequently.
Fight. You not boxing, not use boxing. You need fight. He's high-level boxer.
See, and his trainer saying the same thing that I had mentioned.
You understand me, George? You need fight. Okay, let's go. You need pressure. No weight here.
Set your punches up off of face. Set your punches up off of face, because every time you punch, it's timing you coming in. Feint and go. Feint, set it up. And start moving your hips.
See, that's a beautiful combo that you cannot allow those shots to land. Beautiful. And those are different combinations.
When he's catching him, look where his feet are. He's catching him almost squared up. Because but like you were saying earlier, he's got to put the pressure. He's like, he's doing, his trainer said, he's doing high-level boxing. You're not going to outbox him. You got to fight.
Loma's IQ is second to none in boxing. He knows what he's doing. He's got incredible ring IQ. So Kambosos has to make this a bit of an ugly fight, an inside fight.
And the way that he sat back in round 4, trying to be reactive and trying to be the counter punches and pick his shots is not what he's saying is going to suit him well.
That's not advantageous to Kambosos. He's got to make this dirty.
Really nice combination there from Lomachenko. Nice counter with the left hand from Kambosos.
And his corner also told him to feint and then throw Kambosos, which we'll see if he applies that this round.
Nothing landing there clean for Lomachenko as Kambosos still working around the outside. Not much offensively yet in the first minute of this fight as Loma looks to turn and use those angles as he does. Slips to the right and shoots a left hand.
You know, that's just something you have to do with a high-level fighter. You have to feint a high-level fighter before you throw.
Picking him off with the jab there is Lomachenko. There's a body shot from Kambosos set up off a double jab.
See this rhythm and the feints from Lomachenko are making Kambosos second guess himself and not throw the shots that he's supposed to.
I mean, his work rate has slowed down significantly.
Yeah, it keeps you guessing.
Sure. If every time you open up, you're getting tagged with a shot from your opponent.
Yeah, you eventually just stop throwing.
Single jab, and then Loma throws one right back and scores. Oftentimes winning that battle of that lead foot position. Great shot there.
Left hand.
Yep. Really good work from Vasiliy Lomachenko here in back-to-back rounds. 30 seconds left to go here in round 5. Some struggles again from Kambosos Jr. versus the southpaw, and that glove nearly touched the canvas there as he was off balance. 10 seconds left here in round 5.
Loma does that to his opponents. He's staying on those different angles. He's throwing them off. Kambosos looks a little frustrated now.
Sure does. And beaten to the punch as he gingerly walks back to his corner. We'll listen in once again. And unlike unlike George Kambosos, who has had multiple trainers throughout his career, it's been Anatoly Lomachenko, Andre, and Russ in the corner of Lomachenko his entire professional career, his entire amateur career, and of course his father his entire life, who has... We take another look at what almost looked like what could have been considered a knockdown, and I can't really tell there.
I don't believe his glove touched.
It didn't look like it did, and it wasn't ruled a knockdown. It was hard to see there on that replay. But nonetheless, back-to-back rounds 4 and 5 were dominant rounds for Vasiliy Lomachenko.
Yeah, they were. And he's going to just continue to do what he's doing, Lomachenko. He's using his different angles. I believe he's found the range. Kambosos just has to listen to his corner. He has to make this an uglier fight. He has to go on the inside right now. He's just staying on the outside and getting caught guessing with Lomachenko.
Just out of range for that body shot to miss as Lomachenko looks to turn on the pressure now from defense to offense quickly.
See, blocking an opponent's shot is great, but making them miss is even better. And Loma's making Kambosos miss, which is making him not want to throw at all.
Well, that was what the frustrating part when you talked about Lomachenko earlier in the stretch of fights he went through where he made fighter after fighter after fighter retire on the stool. Nicholas Walters, Jason Sosa, Mariaga, Rigondeaux. I mean, they were all just mentally broken and mentally frustrated. It wasn't that he beat them to a pulp so bad that they couldn't continue out of. It was just the fact that they could not figure out a way to get inside and score. And you're starting to see shades of that right now with Kambosos struggling to get in any sort of rhythm right now offensively these last few rounds. Hesitant to even let his hands go, Rich.
It's just, it's annoying when you're fighting a fighter like Lomachenko who's making you miss that blatantly and hitting you at will. It makes fighters quit.
Nice left hand scores there for Kambosos.
That was a nice hook.
Yeah, that was a good timing on that shot as he doubles up in the jab. Maybe a little bit of confidence there as he goes back to the body with the right hand. Turning it on a bit now, a minute left in round 6 is Kambosos Jr. Keep going, ride this momentum, right. Down to the body again with the left hand for Kambosos.
Kambosos in his previous fights, he would switch stance, but I feel he understands that Lomachenko's got such a high ring IQ and a boxing IQ that he can't risk switching stance with Loma. But he is feinting and punching now, listening to his corner.
Beautiful work with the left hand there for Lomachenko as maybe Kambosos felt it was a little bit behind the head on that second shot.
Hey, left hands again.
Look at the footwork, being able to work around after slipping the jab for Lomachenko. Kambosos having a little bit more success there in that round.
That was definitely a better round for him, for Kambosos.
Listen. Good round.
And you could tell his trainer told him the same.
Listen to me. He's
Go again.
Jim. He's step back. You need jab, jab, right to body. Okay, you're looking good. Work, 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 work. Left, right, left to liver. Slip, right, left, right. Not give him opportunity, George. All time use close exit, all time, and control this. Understand?
See, that was a good left hook from Kambosos.
And he caught Loma with that right hand down.
See, Kambosos caught a rhythm midway through that round and then just stuck with it. He needs to go into every round like that. It's just hard with Lomachenko's footwork. It really is tough to just find your footing.
Perhaps Kambosos can build on some of the success that he found in round 6. Not sure if it was enough to win him the round, but surely in the last few landed more clean shots there.
His corner's asking him to work behind his jab.
And the jab, jab body, right, is what they were calling for.
Yep.
Vasiliy Lomachenko, through the first 6 rounds, is landing 37% of his shots. George Kambosos landing 10% of his punches, a mere 10%. He's thrown 220 punches, has landed 23. Vasiliy Lomachenko has thrown 250 punches, has landed 92. Lomachenko has landed more jabs than Kambosos has total shots. Go ahead, Nico.
Those are great shots, sorry. Yeah, no, it's, you know, when you're Kambosos and you're fighting a fighter like Lomachenko and you start getting frustrated, you get away from your game plan, which he was doing at the start of the fight. In the second round, particularly, Kambosos was going to the body, which Devin did to Lomachenko and got him to win, I believe.
A slip there from Kambosos Jr. About a minute and a half left here to go in round 7. Kambosos is winning in the body shots department. He's thrown 13 total body shots, only to Lomachenko's 4. And there he goes down once again to the body with the left hand on Lomachenko. But the cleaner, more effective punches so far through 7 rounds have been landed by Vasiliy Lomachenko. Down to the body.
That was a great body shot from Kambosos.
Yeah, that left to the body has been a solid shot for him throughout the fight. Probably the most effective.
Yeah, and it works for him. He should just stick with it. The frustration most likely getting him away from throwing to that body. When you get frustrated, you want to go to your opponent's head.
Down to the body goes Lomachenko. Doing a good job cutting off the ring there, then throwing, then backing out before return. Down to the body with the left hand for Lomachenko.
Lomachenko's going to the body now.
Oh, beautiful. See how we just slipped down the front jab of Kambosos, then came with the left hand over the top?
Yep.
We've seen that move from Teofimo Lopez. He likes to do that too, where he kind of almost like paws down your jab hand and then throws his right. Yeah. And a cut.
I don't know if that was an accidental headbutt or a punch from Loma.
But there's a cut now over the right eye.
George, where do you wait?
That's Kambosos. Let's listen.
You ready? George, you ready? You work, you perfectly, you look perfectly.
And there was the slip you saw earlier from Kambosos. And there's that left hand that landed to the body, and oof, that hurt a little bit. You can tell, took a deep breath again, the left lands. He looks to counter with the right, but Lomachenko takes the action back up top and catches him on the way out.
And I believe that was a shot that opened that cut under Kambosos' right eye. Yeah, it was a shot. It was Loma's left.
Now we begin round 8. Christina Poncher, Nico Ali Walsh From the studio in Las Vegas, this fight happening in Perth, Australia. The vacant lightweight IBF world title on the line. Both of these fighters have had multiple belts at lightweight. Lomachenko has never had the IBF belt. It was on the line when he fought Teofimo Lopez, and Teofimo Lopez won that night by unanimous decision.
George's corner, or Kambosos' corner, is asking him to take it to him. He's got to start moving forward, kind of move Loma, put Loma on his back foot. Loma does great when he's coming forward. Great angle from Lomachenko.
Two left hands connect. I mean, this is just that high-level stuff you're used to when you watch film on Vasiliy Lomachenko. Shades of things that he had done at 126 and 130 pounds.
He's attempting to bring his old self back for this fight, Lomachenko.
And I mean, look, he looked great in the fight against Devin Haney too.
I think so.
I mean, it was a year ago, but that was a spectacular performance. You just wondered if a year off, if that deflating loss, how much that took out of him and how he would look against a fighter in ferocious Kambosos that typically, you know, is pretty quick in that hand speed and power department.
Definitely.
Looks like perhaps another cut.
Yeah, when you lose a fight like that.
Another cut by a punch on Kambosos.
It's hard to recover from.
I mean, especially when all the belts are on the line. I mean, when you can win one fight and win all the belts versus now all those belts are vacated by Haney, they're all going to, there are 4 different fights scheduled for each one of those belts. In order to try to climb back the top of that mountain again, you're going to have to go through all the champions once again to try to do that. Obviously, that quest starts tonight, and he's fighting like he knows it. But Kambosos has 2 been there. All the belts he won from Teofimo Lopez on that night in New York City that changed his life. He wants to prove that that was not a fluke.
Yep, Kambosos has a lot more to prove here tonight in showing that Teo win was not a fluke.
"15 seconds here in round 8. Beautiful left hook connects from Lomachenko. Just out of range from that one. And then again, you can see the blood now from that cut that was opened earlier by a punch from the left hand of Lomachenko.
Yeah, I believe that was a left hook that reopened that cut from Loma.
And no stranger to cuts is Kambosos. He was cut in his last fight against Hughes over the right eye. Was cut against Devin Haney.
Let's go now. You punch to head.
Was cut against Teofimo Lopez.
Body to head. He's every time. He's every time going to this side. Right. Using right hand. Why you hold him back by tight plate?
There was the left hand that you talked about that caused the cut.
He landed that a few times throughout that round, Lomachenko. And Loma's smart. His boxing IQ, like I said, is second to none, so he will target that cut.
The announced attendance, as you take a look at the arena, the RAC Arena in Perth, 14,147 in attendance tonight to witness this IBF World Championship fight. And chance of Loma
That's interesting.
breaking out there in Perth. And that's the best shot that Kambosos has right here. I mean, Vasiliy Lomachenko, like his coach even told him, you're not going to sit there and outbox him. You're not going to pick him off. You got to throw a shot. Double jab, right hand. That was a beautiful combination for Kambosos that scored there.
Yeah, you can't box Lomachenko.
You got to go in there. Be the warrior that you are. Lay it all on the line. Let your hands go.
Again, put Loma on his back foot. Bring the action to him. That'll change up the fight a little bit. That was a good jab from Lomachenko.
And I mean, we talked about it earlier, some of the shades of vintage Lomachenko on display tonight, and he's been able to kind of pull away in these last few rounds. I mean, it's been pretty, I don't know, but should I wear the word dominant performance from Vasiliy Lomachenko here tonight? I mean, he's kind of shown that whatever Kambosos has been able to do, he can do it better.
Yeah.
Kambosos' best weapon has been his shots down to the body, particularly those hooking shots, but he's kind of abandoned that.
He has. And that happens when you're getting hit, when you're getting countered from someone like Lomachenko. You stop throwing. You abandon your game plan.
One of the things that Lomachenko hasn't really done in recent fights is been able to kind of step on the gas and get you know, a definitive finish. This was back since Nakatani in 2021 was his last stoppage victory.
Yep. Looks like he's looking to get the stoppage tonight, Lomachenko.
I mean, I know that he would love nothing more than to not have the scorecards read. Right. You know, considering what he's been through in the past. But look, Kambosos Jr. is a warrior. He's never been stopped. His only 2 losses came at the hands of one fighter in Devin Haney. So whether he's cut, bleeding, battered, or even knocked down, which he hasn't been, he'll continue to fight to the final bell. But right now, overmatched by the former 3-division world champion and 2-time Olympian Vasiliy Lomachenko. Good shot there in the counter. Down to the body. And he's showing some flashes here at the end of rounds, but it's just not enough for the whole 3 minutes. It hasn't been sustained. I mean, I can't really think of a round that Kambosos has been able to sustain control for 3 minutes of a round.
Right.
Have you?
No, there have been moments in the round where he would win exchanges, Kambosos, but overall, it's hard to say that Kambosos has been dominant over Lomachenko completely for an entire round. You can see that's kind of, I mean, just that countering from Lomachenko, that's kind of what you've been seeing the whole fight.
And he's kind of standing there in the pocket with him and just counter punching, too. Like he's been okay keeping the fight in close.
Yeah, no, Lomachenko's doing it both. He's staying on the outside, he's countering him. On the inside, he's infighting, countering him. It's tough when you're fighting someone like that. You start really getting frustrated. You start, you know, just abandoning your game plan.
And his face is showing it too, as he's been nicked up by a few cuts and really has 10, 11, and 12 to try to turn this thing around here, or Vasiliy Lomachenko could possibly be walking out of here once again a world champion. As chance of Loma break out again, and so does that left hand that scores here early in round 10.
Kambosos' corner wants him to keep working that jab.
Beautiful right hand.
That was.
Right there from Lomachenko. And you know what? He's also taken this crowd completely out of the fight. You would think they'd be behind Kambosos cheering their man on, trying to help their fighter dig deep. And honestly, it's been quiet. I know we're thousands of miles away in Las Vegas calling this fight, but you can hear.
Yeah. You would think it would be a Kambosos crowd, being that it's in Australia, but, you know, we're hearing chants of Loma.
I mean, it's silent other than those Loma chants, as we're under 2 minutes left here in round 10. Another question that some people had was a year out of the ring for Vasiliy Lomachenko. How would he look? Would he look rusty? Would he look like he's taken a step back? Well, I think he's answered those questions, no.
Definitely. And the bigger question, to me at least, was how would he look after a loss as devastating as the Haney loss?
And devastating not because of how his performance was, but simply from the what it took out of him, because he really felt like he won.
Right. It was just because it was controversial, because it was for all the belts.
Yeah.
It was just it was a really tough loss.
I remember speaking to him in that fight in the locker room after he was so emotional, asking him why he was so emotional, and he said simply because he knew that he would have to talk to his son, who told him all day, "Daddy, can't wait to hear and new. I can't wait to hear and new, Daddy." And he knew that he would have to call him and hear his son and not be able to deliver on that promise. And as a parent, I could identify with that 1,000%. And it wasn't simply because of the loss, it was having to disappoint your child. And that's how he felt.
Yeah, you know, it looks like it fueled him. Sometimes, you know, a loss can be, you learn more from your losses than you do from your wins. And that could be a moment where it fuels your fire. And that's kind of what we're seeing here tonight. It looks like Lomachenko is taking it out on Kambosos, kind of trying to use Kambosos as an example to make a statement.
Well, and maybe that's what he needs to do, you know, in order to try to get back to the top of the mound as blood streams from that right eye of Kambosos at the lightweight division, where you have Shakur Stevenson, you have Manuel Navarrete fighting for the other title, you got Gervonta Tank Davis and Frank Martin fighting for the other. All the belts are going to be spread out, each and every out at this weight division. There's no easy touches.
No, there's not.
I mean, in 2
All the
months
top
from now,
guys.
you can have all 4 champions set, and those are all legit fighters, pound for pound guys at the lightweight division. Let's listen.
You gotta stay in the body here.
George, the right hand to go to head. Pressure, pressure, pressure. Let's go.
Just 2 rounds. Now we're mixed up in 3
Beautiful work with that jab hand, Nico.
Yep. And Loma, he punches and moves. He doesn't sit there and take a picture, as they would say. He lands his shots and moves right after. A very dominant performance so far from Lomachenko. You mentioned before that we, you know, haven't seen so often Loma step on the gas and stay that way for an entire fight. It looks like we're seeing it now.
I mean, it's hard pressed to find, you know, more than a round, maybe 2 that Kambosos won.
Yeah.
He is dominated. Dominated. Now, can he finish the show as Lomachenko takes another body shot there from Kambosos, then comes back with 5 jabs? And you can tell that he still does have some respect for Kambosos Jr. because he's still not taking too many risks.
Right, right. He's still got his high guard up. He's not getting lazy and throwing lazy jabs or putting his hands down. And that cut is getting worse by the round.
Oh, just peppered by shots from Lomachenko. And I honestly haven't seen much adjustments being made from Kambosos. He talked about the new corner and this Russian style that his trainer was working on, and how he had a Lomachenko 2.0 as a sparring partner, a southpaw. But I mean, what have you seen a Kambosos that looks different now than earlier in the fight?
Okay, so the first 2 rounds, I thought I saw a different Kambosos. I thought I saw a smart Kambosos. He was going to the body. He was being smart. But again, it's hard to stick with a new team's game plan, a new style, when, especially when you're fighting a guy like Lomachenko that frustrates you and hits you and counters you and makes you feel like, you know, when you throw a punch, you're gonna get hit in return. Loma's making him miss and making him pay, so it's, you know, he's going back to his old self, Kambosos.
Oh, and he got hit by a right hand there.
I don't know.
And there was a shot there in that exchange.
Was a shot. That was a shot.
Yeah, there absolutely was. That was a body shot. That one hurt him, and that one dropped Kambosos Jr. 20 seconds left in round 11. He says he's okay.
Loma's going to go after it now.
Vasiliy Lomachenko would love nothing more than to get the stoppage, and he's got it! Vasiliy Lomachenko has stopped George Kambosos in round 11.
Wow. That's incredible. That is incredible.
The first stoppage in the career of George Kambosos and the first stoppage victory for Vasiliy Lomachenko since 2021.
Those body shots, that's in Loma, wow. That's one of his greatest strengths is his body work. You can see how emotional he is right now. He really needed a performance like that.
And he really did not want this fight to go to the scorecards. And there is his son, now embracing his proud papa, who can say and knew tonight and deliver back on a promise of at least once again starting to climb the tree back to not only now becoming a world champion, but he's only wants high-level fights. He has made this very clear.
Yep.
He's not,
That's the kind of fighter he is.
Yes, he wants unification fights, he wants high-level stuff, and he's a high-level fighter, and tonight that was a high-level performance.
He stepped on the gas early on. Let's see where it started here. He landed a shot to the body. He landed an uppercut first, Lomachenko, that didn't get counted as a knockdown.
But that left hand right there, that was it.
That was it, and it did get counted as a knockdown.
Oh, that was the last one. Just walked right in. That was just a beautiful shot right there. That was absolutely a knockdown.
And that should have been.
Yep.
And what did he do? He went straight to the body. That's what a brilliant fighter does. They hurt someone up top and they go downstairs. Wow.
No need for scorecards, no need for controversy, and a night that we've had plenty of it from Perth, Australia.
Yeah, wow.
That was a clear, decisive victory for Vasiliy Lomachenko. And we'll take a couple more looks at it again.
This was the last knockdown, I believe. Yeah.
But that worked to the body.
It was a left hook to the body.
And as the referee was stepping in, you see the towel coming in also from the Kambosos corner right there. So whether the referee was going to stop it, if not, the corner was about to. They had seen enough.
Wow, it was a beautiful performance.
Beautiful. Vintage Lomachenko. It's crazy because I say vintage, but he still looked good in his last
Yeah,
fight. But you just saw some shades of dominance there throughout the course of the fight.
He wanted
that
no
reminded you.
Lomachenko.
Yeah, he did.
That's what he wanted.
He did. And that's what he showed tonight.
Yeah, exactly.
Gracious in defeat is Vasiliy Lomachenko. We'll make this one official in Perth. And we have a new
Ladies and gentlemen, can we
IBF world
please have a
champion.
round of applause for these two world-class warriors? The end comes in 2 minutes and 49 seconds into round 11. Your referee stops this competition by winner of TKO, fighting out of the red corner, and new IBF lightweight champion of the world, Vasiliy Lomachenko!
And congrats to Vasiliy Lomachenko and his entire team and new IBF world champion. Tonight we'll take you to the interview in the ring to hear from Vasiliy Lomachenko and possibly George Kambosos as well. Here's
Congratulations to the great Vasiliy Lomachenko. There seems to be some emotion here. What does this mean to you?
First of all, I wanted to thank our God, Jesus Christ. Thank you very much. Second one, I wanted to appreciate my opponent, George, his team. They are a strong team. And of course, I want to say big thank you to my team, my father, my coach, my Andre, Egis, Ras, my family, my kids, my friends, and of course, For us people, I wanted to say big thank you for support boxing. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Tell us about this fight. What happened out there today?
Today I am again world champion. And this is world title for my father. I box in this fight for my father. I want to say big thank you and appreciate it to him. He trained me, he built me, and he deserved it. This is belt for my father.
Vasiliy, you are a world champion again. What do you want to do from this point onwards?
I want to come back home to my family and spend my time with my family. Thank you.
That is the great Vasiliy Lomachenko, a world champion again. And this is George Kambosos, who showed his toughness again. What happened out there today, George?
Oh man, I'm a tough bastard. I'm a tough Aussie bastard. Listen, I'm the mold of a Torre Gaddy, Mickey Ward. We don't want to take easy fights. We step to the best. Look at my track record, and what can you say about this man? This guy is one of the best of all time in history, the greatest of amateurs. So we tried our best. We started really good early. We stuck to the game plan, but that matrix started downloading things, and we tried our best. But he's a true champion. So you know what? He deserves that belt, and I wish him all the best. And you know, I gave my all. That's all I can do. Give my all, give my best, and that's the kind of fighter I am. I'll tell you one thing. I did everything in that training camp. I've got to give credit to my team, my coach Anton, my father, Jim Kambosos. We tried our best, and we try to keep bringing these big fights to Australia. So you know what? Thank you so much, and we'll see what's next.
I know you don't want to go back there, but tell us about the closing stages.
A world champion in just his third fight.
As we take a look
Kambosos
back
in this corner, tries to hook his way in. Oh, Lomachenko got through. He's having success, is Lomachenko. 3. Nice straight left.
That was some of the call from the local broadcast there in Australia. But again, I mean, a spectacular performance from Vasiliy Lomachenko, going in there against a very tough and game Kambosos, but just showed tonight that he was just better on every level. And I appreciate the respect shown between them two, but I'm very, very excited for what could be next for Lomachenko based on how he looked tonight.
Definitely. That opens up the doors for him. I think he's going to start going down the line and collecting those belts now.
I mean, he's got Shakur Stevenson, Emmanuel Navarrete, Tank Davis. I mean, there's a lot of talent.
He's got some serious fights. He's got some serious fights. There's no doubt about that, but a beautiful performance. We're seeing shades of Lomachenko again. I know he's proud of that, and I'm excited to see what Lomachenko's going to do moving forward.
All right, got his hands for the first time in his career on that IBF belt, the one that eluded him many years ago. For Nico Ali Walsh, my producer and director, Marty Corwin, I'm Christina Poncher. Thank you for watching. We will see you next time.